It's a cheesy band. I'll find it.
But why would you not sign? I mean, Black Mirror did one on Ashley O. I don't know if you remember the episode with Miley Cyrus.
I never saw that one.
It was a pretty good one. And Miley Cyrus, by the way, the only artist that has been on the charts has 3 different titles: Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, and Ashley O.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, the only top 40. Huh. But the thing was, her caregiver or whatever was going to let her pass away, and they were going to have the hologram, and she was going to perform. But if you're a record label, you wouldn't have to deal with any of the pretentious artists and all their bullshit.
Well, the Velvet Sundown. Can you search that? Because people were like, just look at the picture of the band. You could tell it's AI generated the band on Velvet Sundown.
Yeah,
we'll have it when LT is done with this here, but he's got it that quick.
People don't think this is real, though, right? They know what they're getting into?
Yeah. 1.3 million listens.
Look at these guys are grinding, dude.
I know, they're having fun.
Look
they're
at
out.
their mouths. This is so obviously fake.
Yeah, I mean, people know this is fake, right?
They do.
Man, it looks like it smells in that VW.
Yeah, boy.
One of their songs is Dust on the Wind.
No, it's not.
Yes.
All we are is...
But they were joking about this on one of the news shows last night. Their first song on their album is "Dust on the Wind," and the last song is "In the Pain." End the pain. Like, God, it gets very dark. That movie, the whole album starts off "Dust on the Wind," and by the end it's "In the Pain."
Yeah, put me out of my misery.
Yeah,
wow.
Fake band AI.
I am going to have to hold a couple of these, but I do want to get to this one because this is a pretty amazing story. I'm going to jump all the way to the end. The surfer in Australia, 19-year-old surfer in stable condition in a hospital after being found off the remote island, northern New South Wales, off the coast of Australia, an outcome his father described as a, quote, 1 in a million. Now, Darcy Default's family were, quote, fearing the worst. His father, Terry, said in an urgent post to Facebook calling for rescue help on Wednesday night. Defaults had left his home on a bike at about 2:30 p.m. on Wednesday, heading towards Woolly Beach, according to police. When he did not return home, family contacted police, quote, following a land and water search around Woolly Beach, including local police, marine rescue. The man was located safe on a small island off of Woolly. Police later confirmed the teenager was found North Solitary Island, a small rocky nature reserve, about 9 miles from the coast.
Well, I can't tell you, though, LT, how many times I tried to go to Woolly Beach and ended up on a solitary island.
Yeah. They did fear their worst, but Darcy took a cream Malibu surfboard with him to One Tree at Woolly, went for a surf in a small swell sometime around 4 o'clock. He was wearing a dark rash. That's actually when he drifted out. And, boy, I mean, you go 8 miles off the coast and you're found? That's pretty crazy.
So he was surfing.
Yep.
He didn't fall off his bike. He was surfing. And then because of what happened in the water, he ended up getting turned around and ended up at North Solitary Island. Wow. Yeah.
And, boy, they got a lot of great whites in that water.
I wonder if you notice immediately I'm not at Woolly Beach.
Yeah.
This doesn't look like Woolly Beach.
No. In fact, I feel like I'm by myself, almost in solitary.
Yeah, I'm north.
Did he pop a cold beer right when he got rescued?
You think South Solitary Island's the better one? Like, you went to North Solitary Island? Oh.
Yeah. A lot more athleticism at South Solitary Island.
It just means more.
Woolly Beach. Sounds like a fun place right there. I wonder if it's Wooleye.
Wooleye Beach?
It could be Wooleye.
Wooleye. Yeah.
We're going to call it Woolly.
That is Trash Today, brought to you in part by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Champy's Chicken, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew over there. Megan and the guys. Great happy hour to start your weekend off right this afternoon. Still time for lunch today. Always great for dinner. And when we get to football in just 44 days, 43 days, you can always get the great tailgate package with our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. The one person you're looking forward to talking to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday next week? Or Sunday night?
If Arch comes by, I would be interested in talking to Arch Manning. I don't know if he's going to come by or not. Quinn Ewers did last year. It's different every year. You never know, depending on schedules. They may be I haven't even looked at times. They might be on the podium while we're live. But I'd be interested in talking to Arch Manning. I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, like in Billy Napier with what he was able to navigate last year? Does he still feel like he is kind of in that danger zone? Venables, one of those guys?
Yeah.
There's a lot of storylines, which, of course, we'll be throwing them out at you.
Roman Harper for me. I hope Roman gets a chance. I know he's scheduled to be with us, to swing by and sit down with us. We get Roman weekly on video hookup, but to sit down with him and go toe-to-toe, I feel like every time Roman Harper leaves our show, I know football better than before he joins our show.
You feel smart. He makes you smarter.
I do. And I'd love to hear what Roman Harper thinks about this Alabama defense going into the season. Looking forward to that next week as well. Monday, it all starts from the ATL with SEC Media Days, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. We'll see you on Monday. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
SEC Media Days 2025 as we roll into it from Atlanta, the College Football Hall of Fame, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. We'll tell you more about Baptist Health throughout the week here. Exciting time there with those folks. Exciting here for the SEC as we move into a new season. Today it's LSU, it's Ole Miss, it's South Carolina, it's Vanderbilt. Hugh Freeze comes your way on Tuesday. Kalen DeBoer here on Wednesday. We'll be here with you with our coverage. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Forrester behind the camera, Taylor Korn, Emily Grace McWhorter wrapping up listening to Greg Sankey. We'll jump into what the commissioner had to say in his State of the Conference address early. They didn't wait till noon today. They went early this morning. So Sankey's wrapping up as we speak, and we'll hear what he had to say. But first, here we go again, guys. And I don't know. I look like I've been out in the sun. You look like you've been out in the sun. And then there's Lance.
There's Lance.
Hey, do you see the?
I do. It's ridiculous. No, I'm looking at our video feed, and you can tell a little bit. I don't know that we got such bright lights. I don't know that you get the full effect, but boy, you got sprayed.
Well, I sent Tyler a photo of what the bed looked like.
I thought about that last night. I was like, housekeeping when they hit Lance's room.
I just wonder if they're going to charge me for sheets. I don't know if the stuff comes out or not.
Yeah.
Because, I couldn't shower until this morning, but when I showered this morning, there was nothing coming off.
Yeah.
No, it came off on the sheets last night.
It did come off on the sheets, but when you're standing in the shower, you didn't see it running down in the drain.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I don't know if it's coming across. I will say, after it got applied last night, we FaceTimed some friends. And they were like, oh, wow, that is next level. So it looked a lot different last night, I guess. Right. I don't know. I mean, what are people saying?
I woke up to the photo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my gosh. But that was from last night.
Yeah. Dunaway, you saw the photo, right?
Yeah.
I'll show it to you in a minute. Yeah. Forrester saw the photo.
Yeah.
It did look a little bit different. It was kind of green a little bit, if that's possible.
Yeah. Okay. There's the sheets. So Tyler had the sheets up.
Yeah.
It looks like a crime scene.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Somebody bled out in your hotel room.
And that's the thing. Am I supposed to call down and I know the Greenpeace, try not to, use the same towel for the full week. If I'm asking for new sheets every day, is that a problem?
I don't know. I've never dealt with spray tan, so I don't know if this is going to be a daily occurrence.
I just can't believe people do this purposely.
Yeah, I would tell you that tonight's day 4 of Beyonce in concert, and it has been a zoo here.
Yep.
Zoo's not
I would imagine them replacing your sheets is going to be not make their top 20 of requests they've had in the last 3 nights.
Point.
Dude, I know Beyonce's a superstar, but 4 nights?
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz sold out. Also at State Farm, we had WWE happening.
Right.
Mm-hmm. SEC Media Days and the All-Star Game all going in Atlanta at the same exact time.
I have been in some bad Atlanta traffic. The Atlanta traffic that we are experiencing on this trip might be some of the worst I've ever been.
It is. Did you guys walk this morning?
I did walk this morning. I'm not gonna fight it. I mean, with all those things Jim mentioned, it's not worth it.
The hotel parking with my big truck. I'm praying it got parked and I'm praying it makes it out.
Yeah.
That'll be all I ask it to do because
It's at Lake Lanier right now. It's almost like Ferris Bueller. They know you're not getting that thing back out.
Well, I told him, I said, you park this wherever you want to park it. I'm not getting it out until Wednesday afternoon, so you're good to go. All right, so tell us about our friends at Baptist Health, and we'll jump into what Greg Sankey said earlier. Taylor Corn and EG just back up from the main arena. We're on floor 2, just to set the stage for you here at the College Football Hall of Fame. And then right to our right, there's a big arena, football field-esque down there, big ballroom here, and that's where the all the coaches and the players will be throughout their official time on the podium, and that's where Greg Sankey was talking to Taylor and EG and others a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Baptist Health is the exclusive sponsor of our SEC Media Days coverage here in Atlanta, a system of care including 5 acute care hospitals, more than 1,700 licensed beds, a freestanding emergency room, and as it's been for more than a century, Baptist Health is an integral part of the healthcare landscape in Alabama. In partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health is celebrating a new day in healthcare. And through its partnership, will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of the individuals and the communities they serve. Welcome to Baptist Health, and they are exclusive presenters of our coverage of SEC Media Days here in Atlanta.
Okay, as you would imagine, the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference talked a lot about the House settlement. His big takeaway there, the middle of anything is messy. I don't want to get into that. We're going to skip through the other stuff and get to the football stuff. But the House settlement things, he said, yes, it's messy right now. The middle of anything's messy when it's hard and good work that you got to do. But he basically said college athletics is not broken. It's just being stressed right now. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's not broken based on the billion-dollar industry it is. I mean, is it broken on the core and the foundation of what college athletics were meant to be years and years ago, things that we probably don't care about? You can look at it like that. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete different model.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think college football is broken, and I base that because I think, to me, the easiest way to judge the health of college, or really any sport, is TV ratings, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that the way you judge it? Because that's where all the money's based.
That's right.
Is on TV ratings. And we've talked about it often. College football is the second most popular sport in this country.
That's right.
The NFL is never going to get beaten. Nobody's going to close that gap with the NFL in our lifetime. They probably used to say the same thing about boxing, horse racing, and baseball back in the day. And the NFL did that. But I think in our lifetime, you're never going to get that gap closed. So the NFL is always going to be the most popular thing going. But college football is number 2. And to me, that means it's healthy. Now, like I just said, there was a time horse racing, boxing, and baseball were there. So you can lose that spot. It's not guaranteed for life.
Yeah. The NCAA model, though, the way we all remember it, those people that don't want to move into a new era, it was never set up for college athletics to be the second most popular sports in America, right? It was set up to be an amateur sport, and they never, I don't think, imagined in the 1960s or 70s or 80s this growing to be more popular than Major League Baseball, than the NBA, than all other sports other than the NFL. But that's what it is now, and it has to adapt, and that's what we're trying to do now. And eventually we will get away from football for sure, and maybe for men's basketball as well. We'll get away from this NCAA model, and we will go to almost a professional league model where the schools are only involved by name only, and we'll have employees in collective bargaining. But it's messy, and it's truthfully not the most exciting things to talk about. But that's one thing Greg Sankey said. He also said the SEC will be fine whether the NCAA tournament expands or doesn't expand. The SEC will be fine. And that's true. I mean, we're coming off the best season.
They have 14 to 16.
Yeah.
I mean, how many more can you get? And again, it wouldn't have mattered how far. I mean, unless they just said everyone is in the tournament this year. I mean, South Carolina and LSU weren't getting in.
Yeah, but to his point, the SEC has – last year they were the premier conference in all of basketball. I mean, it could have been a 32-team field, and the SEC would have filled it up. So that's fine. Now to the football stuff. Greg Sankey, 12-team playoff. Seeding and adjustments were entirely appropriate on the 12-team playoffs. The more I know we're going to go to 16, but the way we've got the 12 set up this year, I think we're going to enjoy it so much more than we did last year's college football playoffs, but because I think every round we will get true matchups that I think are appropriate for that round. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like you. I want 16 just because it's more
on campus.
Good football, and I hope it is more on campus. It's more meaningful football. Maybe not good football, meaningful football. But on the same hand, Lance, I kind of want to see 12 play out the way it should have been set up. We did not play it the way it should have been set up last year. We played it the way that almost we would do with a participation trophy, where winning a conference got you a top 4 seed. Shouldn't have been that way ever. We put and I said it. I don't know who else said it, but we put way too much emphasis on winning the conference in this first playoff. So I would like to see the 12 team the way it really should be designed, which is what we'll get this year.
Don't blink because you get it one year.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I mean, help remind me when we go back to when the 12 was set up for the first time ever last year with the 4 byes. Did we believe everything was going to be a little more competitive in the first couple of rounds?
I don't know if we believed it was going to be competitive, but we saw the fly in the ointment, and I'm okay with the automatic bids, and I know you are too. But if you're not one of the top 4 teams, getting that bye last year made that second round of games less competitive. You weed out a lot in that first round if you're not a competitive football team, and that's where I want those folks to settle in. We had some good games, but I don't know how you guys felt when it was all said and done.
I think the best team did win.
I do too.
The national championship.
But the anticipation of the 12-team playoff last year was a lot more exciting to me than the way it all played out. The 12-team.
Oh yeah.
The execution didn't meet my anticipation. So maybe after it let me down last year, this year it will exceed my expectations, if that makes sense.
Well, the interesting thing, going into last season, and maybe this thing plays out the same way. I mean, I think the majority of people were like Ohio State with the money they've spent in the offseason. They're your favorite. They're probably going to win this thing. And then going into the playoffs, they had the 2 losses coming off the Michigan loss. There was no momentum, so a lot of people didn't believe in them. But it just seems like everything is so wide open. Like, I think there's 6, 7, 8 teams that can win a national championship this year. But do you guys get the feeling that Texas is kind of the Ohio State of 2025?
In what way? I mean, they hope they're not the Oregon.
I mean, are they the obvious favorite? I don't think they are. I mean, wasn't Ohio State the obvious favorite last year? I mean, I remember Will Howard, Big Ten Media Day, saying national championship or bust.
Yeah,
everybody talked about the $30 million.
That's the conversation, and I think they're saying that with Texas and some others this year as well. But yeah, absolutely, Ohio State was the team to beat last year. One other thing from Greg Sankey, and then we'll put a bow on his opening. He does this. The commissioner has been doing this ever since we have had SEC Media Days, being the first to speak, and sort of I compare it to the State of the Union when the president gives that to the joint House and Congress and Senate there in D.C., where you have everybody here and you sort of start things off by giving the state of the conference. Brandon Marcello joked that if you fast forward to 25 years from now, into 2050, when, as LT believes, AI has taken over the world, Brandon Marcello says we can go to the SEC Media Days in 2050, and they'll still be debating 8 or 9 conference games. It's a debate every year, and that was a big talking point, again, with Greg Sankey down here. He got a question about moving to 9 games, and he made a point, 2 of them. One of them was we have a mandate that everybody in our conference has to play one Power 4 conference team in an out-of-conference game. So you play 9 Power 4 conference games. And then his other point was there's nobody in the other conferences who want to swap places for an SEC schedule. They can sit there and bellyache and stuff, but there's nobody that, if they were being truthful, would line up and say, I would rather have that SEC team schedule than I would my own schedule.
Like Indiana made the playoffs based on schedule last year.
That's right.
I mean, Indiana was, in any other situation, Indiana's not a playoff team, right? Schedule was 100% the reason they made the playoffs. You can't get that schedule in the SEC. Like, I could give you, I'm trying to think of, I mean.
Your point is Kirk Cignetti would not be sitting in his bed with his wife deciding whether he's going to leave James Madison for Indiana and look at the schedule in any SEC team. He wouldn't have comfortably sat there and said, I think I can take 31 of my James Madison guys to Vanderbilt and we can win 10 games.
I do think this is a hill that Greg Sankey is prepared to die on. I don't think that they want to be dictated, you need to play 9 games.
Yeah.
The SEC is going to do it their way. Now, I do think if you could prove that a 9-game conference schedule would make money for every institution and the league overall, more money, then they would do it. This is the greediest league in college sports.
If you happen to get the easiest schedule in the SEC last year, you would have played these teams. And 4 are at home, 4 are on the road. You can figure out which ones you want. State, Kentucky, Auburn, Oklahoma, Vandy, Arkansas, Florida, Missouri. That'd be the 8 teams you play based on record, based on SEC standings. That was Indiana's schedule right there last year.
That's the easiest schedule you could put together.
That's
they had the Ole Miss had that version in the SEC though.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, based on outcome of the year and the way the standings shook out, that would be the easiest schedule you could have. And when I say Missouri, that's only because they're 5-3 and that's where they stand. So all your 5 and 3s were Alabama, LSU, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Missouri. So it's really one of those teams because all those teams are 5 and 3. So it's whichever one you want to pick that was the easiest of that group. I don't know which one you would say it was. But yeah, that's the easiest schedule you can play in the SEC.
And by the way, nobody had that schedule in the SEC.
They did not. No.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Yeah. Like for instance, this year, some people, I think I saw Justin Hokanson Auburn live, tweeting and talking about this on Sunday, about Auburn's schedule is one of the easiest in the SEC this year. I mean, you're going to always play Georgia and Alabama if you're Auburn, but you get them both at home, and then everything else is doable. By an SEC standards, it's not one of the toughest schedules.
Right.
And his point was Hugh Freeze needs to take advantage of that this year. And their schedule is, I mean, you've got Georgia and Alabama, but you got them at home. But everywhere else, he has a chance to win football games. About as easy of a schedule as you can get in the SEC is what Auburn has.
I do think, though, in 2025, when we have as many transfer coming in, and you can see this with LSU, you can see it with Ole Miss this year, and what they've had to replace, that it's almost going to play out more like NFL schedules. Like you always know in the NFL, like the Eagles and the Chiefs are going to be really good this year. Alabama, Georgia, Texas, they're going to be really good. But, we talk about today, day one, LSU, Ole Miss, maybe the 2 most disappointing teams in the SEC last year, based on expectations. And then Vanderbilt and South Carolina, the 2 most surprising teams.
Yeah.
Both of those teams, for Vanderbilt to win 7 games, for South Carolina to win 9 games. My point is, you can look at a schedule going into a season now in the SEC, and it might look difficult or easy, and it might flip-flop based on what these teams have coming in.
100%. That's a great point because nobody knew they were walking into a Diego Pavia concert and walking out getting trashed last year like Alabama did in Nashville. All right, that's what Greg Sankey talked about today. That's the State of the Union. We'll get into everything else going on here in SEC Media Days after we tell you about a couple of our great sponsors. All of our coverage is brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health and also in part today by our friends at Hemp Hill. They bring you Lance's Lock, lanceslock.com. All-Star break. Where will you have a play on the home run derby?
No, I probably won't. We might give you guys a lean. We'll take a look at that. We are on fire coming into the break. We finished off the first half of the regular season 2-0 yesterday in Major League Baseball. Probably a little hiatus for the next at least 24 hours, and then we'll get ready for the All-Star game tomorrow. Always a free play at lanceslog.com. Jump on board. It's brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954. For all of your heating, plumbing, cooling, any issues that arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living, living proof right here in front of the camera with no table, no big desk. About 30 pounds different than last year in Dallas is where.
Wow. Dunaway mentioned that last night. I was surprised at that.
I think, and don't take this the wrong way, like we know we're around each other so much.
We see you every day.
When you see the fluctuations, like I can't remember your biggest, I can't remember your skinniest. Is this your thinnest?
No. 2010 in
the desert.
2010 in the desert. Cam Newton. I forget who kicked the field goal now for Auburn. For all the Tostitos.
That's when Luke and Bill called me. He's like, "Hey, is Dunaway okay?"
Yeah.
I was like,
"Did he?"
So what do you mean? Yeah,
163. 163. Then
And what is 178 today?
Nope, 173. Every day I wake up, it's
Okay.
173.
Well, how about that? So you
I probably should check these scales. See what's
Maybe so.
It is digital. It may just lock on 173.
My God, this man's on me every day. I'm just going to keep telling him the same thing.
Yeah, our friends at Weight of Wellness helps you jumpstart your weight loss. APlanForMe.com. APlanForMe.com. Go see Leslie and her board-certified team. They can help you. Injection therapies, meal replacement, protein bars, which I left at home. I meant to bring them. I'd kill for one right now. They're delicious. No contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free. It's Weight of Wellness, your journey to healthy living. All right. Yeah, you mentioned the teams that are here today. LSU and Brian Kelly and all the players. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss. Shane Beamer, South Carolina. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. We got a lot to talk about. Roman Harper's on the show later on. Is there a chance that Clark Lee and Vanderbilt have a better football team this year, but they end up not wrecking people's seasons like they did at times last year? Can Vandy end up being a better team on paper, but a worse team record-wise this year?
I think they can be. A couple of things. I read that they only gave up 3 points off of turnovers last year.
Wow, that is impressive there.
Almost seems impossible.
I can look that. I can confirm that for you.
Diego Pavia for to come in as a transfer, you knew it was going to be an upgrade at the position. You didn't realize how good it would be. I just don't think they're going to sneak up on anybody. They might be favored in 5 games, though. I would be shocked if they get 7 wins again. Clark Lee's probably out of there. Wouldn't you think?
Well, it depends on which jobs come open, but yeah, I mean, I think he would be looking to leave. What do you?
Well, I just never imagined Clark Lee being good enough to leave the Vanderbilt job to go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Clark Lee is a really good coach. Brown has made this point before. I think Notre Dame is happy. Marcus Freeman is their guy, but if Clark Lee would have stayed on 1 more year longer, he probably would have gotten the head job when Brian Kelly left to go and take LSU.
I don't think there's any doubt. I mean, you're talking about him not having a job. He'd be the Notre Dame head coach today if he hadn't taken the Vandy job.
Yeah, but he did take the Vandy job.
I know,
so
but I'm just telling you.
Sometimes when you take the wrong job, you end up having to take a step.
Well, normally that's the wrong job. You guys remember, I think we were doing a show together when Gus Malzahn was offered the Vanderbilt job and ultimately didn't take it. We've only seen one coach take the Vanderbilt job and build it into something else, and that was James Franklin.
Well, Jerry DiNardo got the LSU job off of it, but he didn't build that at Vandy. He was like 5 and 6.
Yeah. I guess just in recent history. But I do think that Clark Lee with another successful year, and I think success is 6 wins. I think he could find his way out of there. Now, look, Vanderbilt on the surface, he might be one of these guys that's like, man, I mean, we don't know what they obviously don't disclose the salary, but I would think it's $5 or $6 million a year, right?
I would guess. I mean, I would. Here's what I would say. I would think if they needed to scare up money to keep him, they probably could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's making right now, but if it became a money thing, they could do it if they chose.
Well, let me ask you this: South Carolina right now, Shane Beamer is the 15th highest paid coach in college football at $8.1 million. I'm just assuming Vanderbilt would pay $5 million. It's an SEC institution.
I was going to say I have him in my head, a $5 million coach. I'm sure he got a new deal last year.
Oh, he had to.
You'd have to think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if not, I don't know when you're going to get one at Vandy.
So for Vandy, there's a chance, that they're not going to sneak up on anybody this year. You got a lot of tape on Diego Pavia. Do you think Oklahoma they looked at Vandy and said, coach, and maybe it's coincidence, but I think the way Vandy brought in a quarterback and basically their parts of that coaching staff with him, that's what Oklahoma is doing. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you want to look at Vandy, what they did last year, and say, that's why I'm excited about Arbuncle and Mateer being there together.
Yeah.
Because of the kismet that they had together in Pullman. They come now to Oklahoma, and they've already got that relationship built, and that's what happened in Nashville last year. In Nashville last year, you brought basically what was working at New Mexico State and put them on a Vanderbilt team.
You brought an offensive coordinator, a quarterback, and a tight end.
Yep.
And those are the 3 most important additions to the team. Like we talk so much about Diego Pavia, I think we forget how good Eli Stowers was.
Yeah, and Tim Beck.
And Tim Beck calling the plays, obviously.
Yeah, I do think those were big factors. And I think Brent Venables looked at this and he's like, man, I mean, this is do or die for me. And I can fix the defense. And look, his defense was salty a lot of times. I mean, Alabama asked them 28-3. But there hasn't been really flash at the offense since Lincoln Riley left to go to USC. So, Jeff Lebby now at Mississippi State, you want to bring in a guy that is running a dynamic offense, and that's Jeff Arbuckle. And then you bring in Mateer with him. The difference is when when Diego Pavia came in, again, Vanderbilt, you knew it was an upgrade. I don't think he got anybody's attention. I think Mateer's got everyone's attention.
Yeah, I just wonder the whole Diego Pavia thing, and this is a massive if, but if the Alabama game had gone differently, like if Pavia was just okay in that game, I mean, does it ever snowball into what it became with Pavia?
I mean, they probably still win 6 games, though.
Yeah, but I just wonder, I mean, like that was really, people were talking about Diego Pavia, but until you beat somebody like Alabama, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think it started to turn a bit when they beat Virginia Tech. I mean, I think that's when,
but that's a far cry from beating Alabama.
I mean, that's week 1. You got a little buzz getting off that, but you're right.
I mean, is that the biggest Vanderbilt win in 25 years?
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be.
Remember, that came after they beat Georgia, right? Alabama beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Alabama, they basically at that point had national championship aspirations and a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback already at that point. They thought, okay, they're going to Miller is going to win the Heisman after what he did against Georgia. Ryan Williams is going to catch 100 touchdown passes, and Alabama is not missing a beat without Nick Saban. Then Vandy happened.
That's right.
And then everything changed totally.
Oh, I think at halftime of the Alabama-Georgia game, and I don't know this to be fact, but, I mean, did the odds adjust where Alabama was your favorite to win the national championship?
I think Milroe was your favorite one in the Heisman. Yeah. So, that's how big that first half was.
Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time, but at halftime of the Georgia game, it was basically Freddie Millens had just returned a punt, and Alabama's up 7-0 against UCLA.
But I mean, you guys,
19, whatever year that was.
You know what a DeBoer guy I am. I mean, if you would have told me at halftime Alabama or the field of that game, I probably would have said, I'll probably take Alabama.
The way they looked then.
Probably so. Yep. One more thing to get to, a couple of them in the opening segment here that's being brought to you today by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Odie's. Tell us about Odie's, where live music was kicking this past weekend.
Yeah, live music every Friday and Saturday. Odie's Fest coming up. For details on that, odiesfest.com. Yacht Rock Review is going to be there. I forgot what annual Odie's Fest this is. It's a lot. Rodney Davis, by the way, has been there for more than 35 years doing the incredible food that you can get for lunch or dinner, the award-winning wings, great burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. 2 locations, the original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood, Birmingham Institution, and Sodi Stafford.
And don't forget our guy, Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys. He is a Birmingham guy. We were talking with Alex the other day. He loves this community, right? And he wanted to create something that was great for this community. I hear like there's a police car in here. It's very loud, by the way.
They're bringing somebody in.
I guess so.
Lane Kiffin.
Headquartered in Birmingham, Alex's hometown for more than 24 years. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys has grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And that team has recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alex's core values and integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
A couple of missteps of some high-profile athletes over the weekend. One of them was Auburn basketball star Tahaad Pettiford, who was arrested on a DUI charge early Saturday morning, booked into Lee County Jail down in the Auburn area, and was later released on a $1,000 bond. Bruce Pearl says Auburn will handle it internally. Tahaad apologized on his social media platform, said he understood the seriousness of it all. This is one of those situations you feel like Tahaad Pettiford will learn a valuable lesson, at least you hope so, and will not impact his progression of being a star next year at Auburn at all.
I don't think it has any impact at all. Outside of the optics and, the public perception, it's not going to affect his draft stock. It's probably not going to affect playing time at all. I would think that, early on, I don't even know, what that schedule is going to look like. I know there's the Boutwell game.
Yeah, well, that's a preseason.
But, does that suck, though, for fans that want to pay money for that ticket? Do you think he plays at a game like that? I mean, is that part of the suspension? I don't know.
I don't know what you do anymore. Like, it's kind of a different world in athletics, right? I mean, can you fine a guy? I don't know if there's a fine system established quite yet in college athletics. I don't know what Bruce Pearl does about this. It is serious, obviously. DUI is very, 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 very serious. It's a loaded weapon, right? But also, this is, to my knowledge, the first issue of any sort he's had. So let's also don't, crumble up a good record and throw it away either. Like, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and that is a critical mistake to make. There's no doubt. But this is also, it appears to be at least, a departure from everything we've known about this young man so far. So, hopefully, like Lance said, you learn your lesson and it's a one and done.
Todd Pettiford being handled internally there with that incident from Bruce Pearl down at Auburn. Meanwhile, you can look around the sheets and learn more about Quinshon Judkins and Le'Veon Moss and Jake Retzloff, who's officially now looking for a new school. All of that has happened over the weekend, and you can go check all of that out on police blotters and different sites from the weekend. When we come back, happier notes, SEC football not far away. We're at SEC Media Days. All of our coverage being brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. Tell us one more time another nugget about Baptist Health, Brownie, as we head to break here. And when we come back on the other side, we'll talk about. I got to ask a question about Brian Kelly. And is he on a level with Sherron Moore at Michigan? What Sherron Moore is in the Big Ten? Is Brian Kelly on that level here, or is he higher than that? We'll talk Brian Kelly, a little BK and LSU when we come back.
Baptist Health, Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system dedicated to providing high-quality, accessible care for communities of Central Alabama. The largest primary care network, 70 primary care clinics, specialty care, approximately 2,600 employed and affiliated physicians, and more than 7,000 team members. That's what you find at Baptist Health. And Baptist Health is the exclusive, presenting the exclusive coverage of SEC Media Days here in Atlanta. Our friends with Baptist Health, a new day in healthcare.
And we're back in a moment from the College Football Hall of Fame. This is SEC Media Days.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout Central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
No matter the occasion, the Next Round store has you covered with whatever you need. Head over to nextround.store and start filling your cart up now. When you wear your gear, make sure to let us know by posting on socials, and you might just end up seeing yourself during a commercial break. Go browse now at nextround.store and place your order before the break ends.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
As we all know, there's no off season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings, or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you from the College Football Hall of Fame, LTD&B with you. Before I tell you about New Life Art, what a wonderful night last night in the major draft for some local guys. First off, for the Nationals, they went with shortstop Eli Willits. He's a kid who is 17 years, 7 months old. He's the youngest player taken first overall since Ken Griffey Jr. in 1987.
I saw the interim Nats general manager talk about, we felt best hitter in the draft, best fielder in the draft.
Yeah.
If they got either one of them, it's well worth it, right?
Yeah.
I would say so if you get the best fielder or best hitter.
The Nationals have had 2 overall number 1 draft picks.
One panned out.
Strasburg and Harper.
Yep. One panned out. One.
Oh, I think both did.
Yeah. I would say
Strasburg was just hurt so much.
But he was there when you won the championship.
He was. But, I mean, Bryce Harper, you cannot argue. That guy he's delivered first overall draft pick performance.
Hewitt Trussville High School's Still Hall went 9th overall to the Cincinnati Reds. Ike Irish went a little later in the first round to the Orioles. He's the 10th Auburn Tiger of all time to be taken in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. And Alabama's Riley Quick went to Minnesota to the Twins. He's the 6th Alabama player to be taken in the first round of the Major League Baseball draft. So 3 local ties there last night in the Major League Baseball draft. Our friends at New Life Art, that's where you get all of Daniel A. Moore's work. You can go to the website to check them all out, danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com, promo code TNR. Everything from Rocky Block to Kenyon Drake's dive into the end zone to secure a national championship, all the way back to the goal line stand and everything in between. You get everything there, including the legend Nick Saban and his 6th national championship painting. It's all right there with Daniel A. Moore. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. What's in the chat room today, Brown?
Michael says Alabama was number 1. That was Vandy's first ever win over a number 1 team. He doesn't say this part, but I'll add it. You can make an argument it's Vandy's biggest win ever then, not just the last 25 years.
Yeah.
If they've never beaten a number 1 and they beat number 1 and they tore the goalpost down and threw them in the Cumberland.
Yeah, I don't know the history.
Yeah.
The history of Vanderbilt football is not much.
Yeah, I don't think there is much.
Yeah, I mean, that could be it.
Ball Fan 205 reminds us, don't forget Jerry Kill. He wins everywhere, and that is absolutely right. He is on that sideline too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was the other addition Clark Lee made was Jerry Kill, who was just an analyst. I mean, I don't think he actually had a position coach.
Yeah, he coached it up on the sidelines, though. He was coaching as hard as Clark Lee was when you'd see the cutaways.
I mean, you gotta give Clark Lee some credit for humility in that situation. Like, I think he probably knew when I bring in Jerry Kill, it's going to get a lot of attention. And like Dunaway said, boy, I mean, this is not Clark Lee's choosing, but you watch those Vanderbilt games, they showed a lot of Jerry Kill.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of coaches that would be threatened with that.
Yeah, I don't think you're. I mean, you're absolutely right. A lot of talk about Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Our guy Morgan seems to like South Carolina. He has continued to say they're going to go 10-2 this year.
Yeah, that's what they need to do to get to the playoffs. They've got Lenore Sellers. We'll talk about them and some over and under achievers and what they have to do in just a second. But I want to get to what I'd asked going to break about Brian Kelly and compare him with Sherron Moore. There are questions whether Sherron Moore can get Michigan to where they want to go now, which is a national championship. Can Sherron Moore win a national championship at Michigan? Do you think LSU fans who have seen Nick Saban, Les Miles, and our buddy Ed Orgeron do it, Do you think LSU fans are starting to wonder, can Brian Kelly be the guy that wins a national championship? Is there any question, can BK finish the deal?
Well, first of all, blasphemous that you compare Brian Kelly to Sherron Moore. I mean, Brian Kelly's had a hell of a career. I know these 3 years haven't been exactly what LSU fans thought it would be, but I was talking to an LSU fan last week about this week, and I asked, where do you think most of your fan base is on Brian Kelly? He's like, we love BK. We think he's going to be just fine. Now, I do think it could be a little different after this year, but you look at the final 3 years at Cincinnati, he wins 33 games. Final 3 years at Notre Dame, he wins 32 games. Over the last 3 years, he's got 29 wins, which, look, isn't what LSU signed up for, but he's virtually, he's 10 wins a season.
I mean, if I made you in very 4 downs fashion, Lance, bet your life on Brian Kelly winning a national championship or not, you'd go not. I mean, the odds tell you he won't.
And if you just asked me straight up grade for the 3 years, I would go B minus.
I'd go B minus, but most of that B minus is resting on the fact that in year 1 he took them to Atlanta.
Yeah, and then year 2 they won a Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels.
But they got nothing out of that. I mean, they won a Heisman Trophy. Jaden Daniels was like a 4-loss team, weren't they? But I mean, really. So we give him a B minus based on the fact that 2-point conversion against Alabama was good. If they don't get that 2-point conversion against Alabama, they don't go to Atlanta. Okay. Alabama does.
But if they get a break in any of those openers against Florida State or USC,
you do feel a little bit different. But I mean, and I'm willing at some point to submit I'm wrong about this. I don't know when I have to do it. Maybe I'll do it right now. I thought Brian Kelly would win a national championship at LSU because, to your point, everybody else has. And 2 of those coaches, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about Les Miles. I think he gets overrated because he was at LSU.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Les Miles and Ed Orgeron are at very best mid-tier coaches.
Yeah, I think Orgeron is great position coach, recruiter.
Yeah, but he ain't a head coach.
Les Miles is like a C- overall head coach when you go back to the Oak State days. Maybe even worse when you combine Kansas with what's going on. But, yeah, I mean, to your point, if Les Miles, Paul Dietzel way back in the day, and Ed Orgeron can win national championships.
How can Brian Kelly?
Brian Kelly, to me, is the second best coach that they've ever had. And I don't even think it's close.
Other than Nick Saban.
Yes.
Wow. That's saying a lot.
No, I think I'm with Lance on that, though. I would agree. Second best coach they've ever had. I don't know who Paul Dietzel. I don't know what he did other than that. But
I've only seen 2 ballots so far.
All right.
Of media people who will send in their vote to who will be picked first, second, third, fourth. And one of them had LSU 5th. One of them had LSU 6th.
Oh,
so if that's where LSU ends up this year, what's the conversation?
We're talking in the conference 5th or 6th, not in the nation.
In the conference.
Oh, that's a disaster.
I think we'll know a lot more about Brian Kelly's buyout. I think we will. And I think, next year, I don't know where we're going to be for SEC Media Days next year. Maybe Nashville, maybe Birmingham, maybe Tampa.
It's not going to be Birmingham.
But to your point, 5th, though, in the SEC this year, I mean, you've got Texas, Alabama, Georgia. And
I'll tell you what.
Find somebody else.
Just throw Tennessee and Oklahoma in. Just
record-wise, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Missouri tied for 5-3, which was the 4th best record in the conference. Now, Alabama won that tiebreaker because they beat LSU, South Carolina. They beat all those teams that they played, right? So Alabama technically, based on tiebreakers, finished 4th. That's 5-3. If LSU's just 5-3 in the conference, finishing 4th, I think people are upset about that. Don't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why I brought up the comparison, because I think they're, Sherrone Moore has got to overcome those type of obstacles this year for Michigan and a fan base that now believes they should be contending for national championships and not just beating Ohio State.
If LSU is going to get to a college football playoff, they've got 4 road games that are brutal, and you're going to have to win 2 of these road games. So you open up against Clemson. Mm-hmm. You got to go to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. They're playing in Tuscaloosa, and they've got to go to Norman to play what is going to be an improved Oklahoma team. So, I don't know if they can get in at 9-3, maybe. But to solidify yourself for sure, 10-2, you got to win 2 of those games. And those are 2 tough road games. There's a chance they're going to be underdogs in all 4 of those games.
Let's talk about under and overachievers. LT brought this to the table today after we tell you about a couple of things that you can put on your table. One of those is our friends at Bojangles.
That's right, Bojangles. It could be bow time for you. You love a good dipping sauce from sweet to heat. Bojangles has one for you. And you know what they got to go with that? They've got those hand-breaded tenders. Tigers. 7 sauces, honey mustard for the sweet, some tang with barbecue. You want some heat? Try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. Smooth and creamy house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. Head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop, LT will not be by today, Jim, at New York Butcher Shop because he's in Atlanta. But he'll be thinking about you, I bet.
Last week, 3 different times. 2 times meatballs with the pasta, and then 1 time the steaks. I mean, all of the food, fantastic. Got a buddy that goes into the Cabo Heights location every single Saturday to grill out on Saturday nights. Not only the great meats, the made in-house sides, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts as well. One-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Okay, this was also a topic that I had in a different way, that this feels like there's a year this year, sort of like Vandy was last year, maybe some underachievers who can come out of nowhere and play a little bit better this year. Let's talk over and underachievers, something you wanted to do about the teams, not just here today, but who will be here all week long at SEC Media Days.
Well, I just think when you look at the current state of the SEC, where the program is with their head coach, who has underachieved? LSU, based on the expectations for Brian Kelly, I think they've underachieved. I mean, 29 wins in 3 years. I mean, look, it's not terrible, but you are the 11th highest paid coach in college football at $9.9 million.
No championship.
0 championship.
No, 0 championships, no college football playoff berth, even with an expanded college football playoff. And not only did they not make the college football playoff, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss missed it, and all were in front of LSU. So they were like the SEC's 6th or 7th option for a college football playoff.
Yeah, so I would say LSU might be number 1 just based on the expectation. I thought that they would win a national championship. Maybe that's this year.
As the biggest underachiever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Florida and Auburn would be right there next with both Billy Napier and Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze more proven than Billy Napier. But Florida overall a better program year in, year out. But I think both have underachieved so far, right? I mean, I know the schedule was brutal for Napier last year.
But I mean, he's underachieved based on
Florida expectations.
Florida's historical standards and expectations, yes. And Hugh Freeze has underachieved based on what you thought he would do on Auburn based on what he did at Ole Miss. I think everybody thought he could do at Auburn what he did at Ole Miss, and he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah, but let's be very honest here. Billy Napier took over a program that was not in a disastrous place. Dan Mullen, it has started to slip a little bit, but it was not a disastrous place like where Hugh took over at Auburn. So Napier has underachieved, in my opinion. He is a Nick Saban disciple who was winning meaningful games at Louisiana, their meaningful games, and he's come into Florida and he has not met the expectations, not just by Florida standards, but by the standards of successful coaches in the SEC at any school. And Hugh Freeze way has underachieved.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, and I don't know anybody else you would put on that list. We go back 2 years ago, Jimbo Fisher would have been at the top of the list. Elko just hasn't been there long enough. And then, we were having a conversation with some Arkansas guys last night, and they said that it's kind of a joke, Sam Pittman.
Yeah,
but everybody likes Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
I don't know what the expectations should be for Arkansas football.
What I thought was interesting, that conversation we were having, these are some people that cover Arkansas football we ran into, and they said, like, I can't remember the word they used, not expectation, but like excitement and all that is at an all-time low. And I wanted to say, like, lower than the Chad Morris era? Like, I feel like there's got to be more excitement for Sam Pittman than there was Chad Morris. That's one of the most disastrous eras, but maybe it's just all cumulative, right? Maybe it's just they're like, we're in a rut we can't get out of.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised.
Yeah, well, I hate to tell them this because they cover him and I don't, but I'm going to disagree with them. When you were going in,
you're not there at all.
When you're going into the year with Chad Morris, and you, who was the guy? Was it after Chad Morris that you had the interim coach for?
No, that was John L. Smith before.
Yeah, that was before. That was with the Petrino situation. You had John L. Smith.
So that was that had to be.
Yeah, but they were
to rock bottom. Then Chad was rock bottom.
Yeah, Chad was rock bottom. I wonder if we've finally gotten to a point. Ole Miss didn't realize what they had with David Cutcliffe. I think Tennessee on the back end of Phil Fulmer. I'm not saying Sam Pittman's a great coach by any means. I think he's a good coach. but you're Arkansas, and how many current head coaches could you hire in college football that could make Arkansas year in, year out a contender in the SEC?
So you're suggesting if you move on from Sam Pittman, you might have made the mistake so many schools have made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think Mark Stoops is somebody you can throw in here now. I know it's Kentucky, and I know he has a huge buyout, so it's going to be hard to fire him at $37 million at the end of this year because you got to raise money for players or whatever now. But I think he's underachieved now. He built Kentucky into a place where
I think you're insane. I think
we're going to differ on that. He loves him so Mark.
No, I don't. I don't even like the guy. But 4-8 last year. Last year was a disappointment.
Okay, so
but go back the years before, and it's Kentucky football.
Yeah.
4-8 was kind of the norm.
I know, but is that where we are now? He's 4-8. That underachieved for me. He's got to make a bowl game.
Here's why I disagree with Lance and Mark Stoops. Now I'm going to in the same breath.
By the way,
contradict myself.
Can you pull his
Stoops?
Can you pull his record?
Has scheduled win after win after win in a crappy non-conference. He stacks this non-conference to stack up terrible wins, and we give him credit because he's a Kentucky coach. Okay, yeah, you can go beat Eastern Michigan every year. You're the Kentucky coach. We don't expect more out of you than that.
Your point is the last 5 years he's been the OVC coach of the year.
That's right.
He wins the OVC.
Now,
can you pull his record?
In the same sentence, though, let me just say, he's also had Kentucky twice in a game against Georgia where if they win that game, they win the East. So I am going to say, you do have to give him credit for that, Jim. That is the Kentucky coach doing that, but it was also a crappy East.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that now? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
Within the last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen. I watched both those games on CBS.
Oh, they weren't close.
They were both on CBS, so it wasn't during the ABC, ESPN.
No. They were not close. Okay, his overall record, 67-73. 28-62 in conference. You can't battle for that. Lance.
No, I can't.
62.
But look at the recent years. So he had the first 3 years. You take those out. I mean, the first 3 years, though, when he is taking over an awful situation, and they're
he's 24,
4-20.
Yeah.
I don't see you going to the bat saying let's take away the first 3 years for Hugh Freeze.
It's a different situation.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a ton more expectation with Auburn than Kentucky.
But to your point, his last 3 years, 7-6, 7-6, 4-8, and you feel like you've gotten in the Mark Stoops rut now. And it doesn't help it, Lance, and you know this better than anybody. It doesn't help it that he plays a boring style of football.
That's fine, but I'm looking at a 10-3, an 8-5, and a 10-3. 2 10-win seasons at Kentucky.
Yeah, but now the last 3 years we're trending in a very bad spot. Do you think Kentucky goes to a bowl game this year?
I don't.
I don't either.
Okay,
so,
but
back to back, no bowl game.
Okay, but the last 3 seasons he has averaged 6 wins per season, which is pretty good at Kentucky.
Yeah. I would put him on the underachieving of where he had built Kentucky football. He's underachieving now. We'll talk overachievers coming up later in the show after we get to Roman Harper at the top of the hour. Part of the show today being brought to you, in fact, all of our coverage is being brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health, and also in part today by our friends at A+, Brownie.
Yeah, that's right. That's the crew that redid the Brown master bathroom. When it came time to redo our master bathroom, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Man, when she gets her mind set on a mission like this, she just digs in deep. That's the way she works. So after talking to a ton of people, Brad Bill was the guy she picked. I'm glad she did. I'm going to tell you what Brad specializes in, but don't hear me say this is the only thing he does. He specializes in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closet remodels. It's not the only thing he does, but it's what he does because he knows a couple things. Number one, you're going to spend a lot of time in those rooms when you own your home. And number two, when you sell your home, you're going to get some money back on those rooms because they really pop when you go to sell your house. Here is his number, 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. But anytime we talk about him, Scott shows you, or in this case today, Tyler shows you some before and after photos of our homes. Lance has used Brad as well. You can see it all, though, online, alabamabathremodels.com. That is alabamabathremodels.com, and that is our guy, Brad Bell.
And our viewing menu every day brought to you by the great folks at Michelson Laser Vision LT.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. If you've been thinking about LASIK, finding out maybe if it's right for you, stop procrastinating, make the phone call that I made, ask for Amy, tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, Tyler, what you got for us today, man?
All right, tonight, Prime has added one of the weirdest biopics I've ever seen. It's called Better Man, and it's the true story of the meteoric rise, dramatic fall, and remarkable resurgence of British pop superstar Robbie Williams. I had no idea who Robbie Williams was going into this movie, and I still think I don't know. But instead of it just being like a random no-name actor playing the pop star, it's a CGI monkey.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, did you guys not see the previews for that?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I had zero desire to see this thing. It looked awful. I did know who Robbie Williams was. I never understood the fanfare for Robbie Williams, but not going to watch it.
It was actually a pretty solid movie. I just have no idea who Robbie Williams is, and I didn't like the music in the movie. But overall, pretty decent. And then Paramount Plus has added a movie that the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Forster would recommend to everyone, called City of God. It's a crime film set in the slums of Rio de Janeiro, and it's about two kids' paths diverging as one is trying to become a photographer and the other is trying to become a drug kingpin. And the tagline for this movie is, "If you run, the beast catches you. If you stay, the beast eats you." It's one of the most
so true story,
crime.
Tyler. I have started this movie 3 times and I've never finished it. Over the last,
I'd give up if I were
10 years.
Yeah.
It's got like a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'd give up.
I couldn't get into it.
Yep.
Nominated for an Oscar for Best Cinematography.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I've got
Tyler,
on
what
here,
else you have?
the only other thing I have on here today is Superman. I've seen it twice already, and I would recommend everyone go see it. And Tim
Tyler again with a recommendation on Superman.
He's getting a cut of that. That's why Tyler's watching, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. We had to break here. Roman Harper coming up on the other side with us at the top of the hour. Being brought to you today, all of our coverage, SEC Media Days, by our friends at Baptist Health. The same great coverage you've gotten forever and ever continues now with a new era straight ahead.
It is a new day in healthcare. This partnership with Baptist Health and Orlando Health will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of the individuals and communities Baptist Health serves. They are the exclusive presenting partner of SEC Media Days here on the next round, our friends at Baptist Health.
All right, we're top of the hour, Roman Harper, and hour number 2 from SEC Media Days at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama-born, Alabama-raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the next round.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with a TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
And all of our coverage from SEC Media Days at the College Football Hall of Fame being brought to you by the wonderful folks at Baptist Health. Here's, when you get to be my age, you've done this so long. Last Friday, we talked about who we wanted to talk to the most at SEC Media Days. And the first guest we get on the desk is the one I requested. So I appreciate that, Ryan Brown. I said I wanted Roman Harper.
There he is.
And that's the one I got.
Well, you definitely got the fine-dressed one today.
That is a good-looking suit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. That's all I have.
Always look good. We were talking about, and I don't think we talked about this when we came on this morning, but Beyonce, this is night 4.
That's right.
Of her 4 days and 5 at Mercedes-Benz. But I know you got in late last night, but I can't even tell you like how insane it was around here.
No, I got in when the let out was happening though. So I got stuck in traffic, and it was all because of the Beehive last night. It was live in effect.
The fashion.
I saw a lot of guys and gals, boots, hats, short shorts, some cheekage out. It was a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It was great. I mean,
good to be a cowboy hat salesman here. Too. Everybody had a cowboy.
Also very confident too. I saw a couple checking out this morning with a couple hats, but the confidence to wear some of those things.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I applaud them all.
Yeah.
Speaking of confidence, last year we talked about Alabama's defense a lot. Boy, I love the way this unit looks on paper this year. Where are you on Alabama's defense going into this season? A lot of experience back.
Number one, I will say this. It's more than one way to skin a cat. All right. That's number one. And you guys know my opinion on Alabama's defense as far as what they do technique-wise with just the vision on the quarterback situations. And so I don't disagree. I disagree with that. I think you still should. It's better ways to do it. But that's what they're going to do. And I'm interested to see what they do and what they look like this year, knowing that is the second year in this program, the second year under running this defense. And so they should clean up a lot of the mistakes that they had last year. They just shouldn't be making the same mistakes. I think that's what I'll be judging this team off of, this defense off of. I told you guys a lot of times, week after week, I'm only going to really look at Alabama for take away turnovers, red zone defense, and then how effective you are on third down. Those stats still don't change for me because I'm looking at how they're going to play complementary football in today's college game. So they got to improve with those areas. Everybody, they look good on paper, but they still got to go out there and play.
But the style he runs, I mean, even Kane Womack says it's secondary based, right? I mean, you got to be strong in the secondary to run the style, the swarm defense he runs, and that should be the strength of this defense.
Yeah, but it's not saying that they're not good players or that they're not
right.
or they're not talented. That's not what I'm saying. You recruit them. They are talented. But if they're only looking at the quarterback, and that's half the equation, how you always get the problem right. You'll get it right 50% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is if you got to know where the wide receivers are, where the routes are telling you, because that's what offenses do. They build routes to attack certain areas on the field. And so if you don't know what they're building, I'm just guessing half the time. And you also got to understand when you're playing secondary, trust me, I did it. When I don't know where guys are at around me, I'm quick to give up a touchdown, and the quickest way to lose a game is over the top. So if you only know what the quarterback is doing or where he's throwing the football because you think he's throwing it to you, because I'm looking at him, looks like he's throwing to me, but it's a guy 8 yards to my left or to the right. In certain situations, you have to know where the wide receiver is and where the quarterback is as well. And sometimes you don't even need to know the quarterback is. I just need to be focused on a man and how I'm playing him. And then exactly that and his body language will take me to the football.
Dang it, Harp. I was so excited about this season. It got me worried already.
Okay,
already.
With this offensive line, with this wide receiver room, with Ryan Grubb coming back and hooking back up with DeBoer, do you have more confidence in the offense or where the defense is coming into year 2 under Kane Womack?
I would say the offense. I'm confident in this whole look. Let's just say it like this. I think Alabama's going to be in the SEC championship.
Okay.
All right. And
do you think they win the national championship?
I don't know.
Out of bag.
I can't. I don't know if I'm ready to jump that high.
Okay.
I'm also willing to change my opinion if they come out and lose 3 or 4 games too. So as of right now, talking season.
That's how you get that suit right.
Yeah, I have
the change.
Yeah, I am. I think Alabama has the talent and the ability. I also love what Kalen DeBoer is and what he represents as a head coach. I don't think you can put enough emphasis on that because I've been around the program. Alabama just looks and feels differently right now. The way that they're recruiting, the way that they're doing things that I've never seen them do. I saw them with a 68 or a 60-something Mustang fastback with recruits. Like, that's just different than what Alabama's ever done. And so you see this freshness to it. It just feels differently, and I like that. I think it's such a different regime change in what it was before than what it is now. And the young kids are vibing with it. And the young players that are on that team are starting to buy in, and they are selling this thing. Whatever they're doing right there, they're selling it harder than the coaches are. And for me, I like that. And you already add everything that is Alabama on top of that. I think they got a great chance to do it, but they got to play well. They got to learn how to run the football effectively from the running back position. I don't want my quarterback being the lead rusher. All right, that takes too much hits. It also affects the pass game. I just don't like it. I think this offense is built better, a little bit more consistently for what Ty Simpson does. Longevity-wise, he's also an athletic quarterback that's just been sitting in the reins. I think it's his time. And, of course, the wide receivers and what this O-line is supposed to be doing, they should be physical. They should be able to run the football effectively. And then off of that, you'll be able to pass and get everything else going.
All right. By the way, I think Coach Bryant gave out a couple of those 66 fastbacks back in the day. Roman Harper's with us, SEC Network, ESPN, New Orleans Saints Hall of Famer, the Super Bowl champion, all the stuff you get with Roman Harper. Around this league, we've been waiting on Arch Manning, but I look at all the quarterbacks in this league, and it's a deep league at quarterback, I think.
Yeah, that's why it's so competitive. Look, I would always say in the NFL, you don't have a chance until you get a quarterback. Then once you get a quarterback, you got a chance. So that's part of the whole equation. Same thing in college football right now, especially in the SEC. The last 4 years, the quarterback play has skyrocketed, and all the quarterbacks are now no longer staying out west. They're coming to the Southeastern Conference to play against the best players in the country. So you look at it, you got Nussmeier, you got Lagway, you got Sellers, you got you can keep going down on and on. Austin Simmons is another kid that everybody's going to really talk about and start to love. And who else is out there? We can
Mateers,
who came in from Washington State that had a great season last year with his offensive coordinator coming with him. So, and I've heard from Oklahoma staff, like, the things that he's bringing to this team and to this program right now because of his experience, because of the attitude and the leadership qualities that were probably missing at times last year. It's just different of a feel because the players sense it. They got a chance. Whenever I have a quarterback, I got a chance. I was never out of a game in the NFL because I had Drew Brees.
That's right.
Never. I was always in the game because I had a quarterback that wasn't going to blow it. He was always going to give us a chance. That's what you saw change for Florida last year when DJ Lagway became the full-time starter. They always had a chance, and everybody played better because you have a chance and you have this sense of belief or hope, whatever that represents. We have a lot of quarterbacks that give their teams chances like that.
So Brian Kelly here today. It's been far from disaster, but 29 wins in his first 3 seasons, no championships. Are you a little surprised that he hasn't won a championship, whether it be SEC or national? And do you still think that this thing's going in the right direction?
No and yes. So I'm not surprised that he hasn't won one. I mean, it's hard. And it's not a lot of coaches out there that got him in their pocket all over the place. So that's number one. And do I think they're heading the right direction? I said, I do believe they are. You know, he put his money where his mouth is. I think he put only $1 million up of his own money to say we need to go get some dudes. And they did that. But it's also like a jigsaw puzzle. What pieces go where, this, that, and other. For me, it's one of the biggest questions I have for LSU is how do you get your 2 best players on defense on the field at the same time? Something they have not been able to figure out. When that is Whit Weeks, who I said was going to be a game breaker when he stepped in last year, filling in for Harold Perkins. So how do you get Harold Perkins and Whit Weeks on the field at the same time? Productive, in a productive manner. Because we're only better when our best players are playing. And that's one thing that they have not been able to figure out. You insert Blake Baker at defensive coordinator, you still can't get Harold Perkins to be as productive as he was from when he first stepped on campus. How do you get a guy that was that great for 8 or 9 games his freshman year to play at that level in a junior and a senior year? I don't understand how we continue to miss, but that is what they got to figure out because they got too much talent. They also have to win the first game. The schedule sets up beautiful for LSU if they win the first game. But that's one thing that BK has not been able to do. And I don't want him banging on tables and chairs this year. But
by the way, this is his toughest opener he's ever had.
It's the toughest one. I get it. But if you win this one, we will look at you differently and you will be accepted all around the country differently because you will be the team that everybody's talking about. And now you got a real target on your back.
All right. ESPN wants Roman Harper back, so we're going to give him back. Always good to see you, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it, my boys. I'll see you guys this season.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you, my man. Y'all be good. Roll Tide.
Yeah.
See y'all.
Thank you. See you, Roman. That is Roman Harper, the Alabama and NFL great with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. Headed off to do some more work for ESPN.
All of our coverage brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. More on them in a second. But Dr. B, look at LT's hair right on top of that tanned face.
T3hair.net. So when we first started doing this, we were in the old McMillan's Big and Tall over in the River Galleria.
Those days.
And I remember talking to Rick Neuheisel, and I saw turning to the side. I was like, damn, I'm starting to get a little thin. Nobody's told me this. So I started to ask around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name everyone mentioned for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a variety of things. Right now, T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, takes seconds to perform. Again, you can go online at any point. Check out more information. I do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair is more than doubled in thickness over the last 3+ years. Again, T3hair.net for more information.
All right, our coverage here in Atlanta presented exclusively by our friends at Baptist Health. Baptist Health's system of care includes 5 acute care hospitals, more than 1,700 licensed beds, freestanding emergency room, and as it has been for more than a century, Baptist Health is an integral part of healthcare landscape in Alabama. Baptist Health, Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system. It is dedicated to providing high-quality, accessible care for the communities of Central Alabama. It's a new day in healthcare with Baptist Health, a partnership with Orlando Health and Baptist Health, bringing you the organization's mission here to Alabama to improve health and quality of life of the individuals and the communities they serve. Exclusive presenting sponsor of SEC Media Days coverage is Baptist Health.
Wow, it sounds like an exciting time with those folks there. Exciting for Alabama fans with all the expectations going in. But you just heard Roman Harper still questioning a little bit about that defense.
He's not going to buy that defense ever.
So tell me your takeaway, and I'd love to hear what the chat room's saying about Roman and that defense as well, because I would say Alabama fans gave that defense a B last year.
I think, well, I mean, maybe, after Vanderbilt, the adjustments they made, though, I thought the defense got really, really good. I think it was more of a B plus to end the season. I think the offense was so out of whack and so inconsistent. I don't think he's sold on it yet, but you just heard, there's 16 teams, only 2 can play for the SEC championship in December here in Atlanta, and he's got Alabama in that game. If you're in that game, you're in the college football playoff, so that's a successful year.
Dylan says, what would Harper want to see them run? Last year was a lot of feeling out everyone, and the defense was fine down the stretch, and that's what we talked about is by the end of the year, at the start of the year, the offense was Alabama's best unit. By the end of the year, it was defense. I will continue, though, to add, I think, an important caveat is you do look at some of the offenses Alabama played down the stretch, and they were not dynamic offenses. You got to be fair on that.
100%.
Some of the better offenses Alabama played were at the front end of the schedule.
Michigan, Auburn, Oklahoma,
Eastern Illinois,
Missouri.
There were some bad offenses in that group. I'm not going to pretend like Alabama balled out against the top offenses in the SEC.
South Carolina had ball in hand a couple of times at the end with a chance to win.
But you can only do what you do. And they shut Missouri down. Missouri, I don't think scored, right? I think that was a shutout. They brought the starters back in to keep Missouri from scoring.
Keep in mind, that was they lost their quarterback.
Well,
their starting quarterback.
You know why? It's because the defense knocked him out of the game.
Well, he was questionable.
He was.
But still, a shutout in college football is a shutout.
Zach says the Swarm is feast or famine. Needed the offense to carry water last year, and that didn't happen a few times. Specifically Oklahoma. Like, you can get focused on how much Oklahoma ran and what Jackson Arnold did running against Alabama, but if Alabama's offense plays to half their potential, it doesn't matter. That game, I don't think is close. If Alabama's offense plays to half their potential.
Look, 28 points. You should be able to score that on the road anywhere in the SEC.
Yeah. Brian is not crazy about the Swarm either, he says.
Well, I think, and I don't want to speak for Brian, but I think you look at Alabama on paper, and I think this is the point. Defensively, you think, man, they've got the dudes. They've got the dudes.
You wearing your dunks? No, you're not wearing your dunks on.
But they've got the dudes. And if they fail, Roman hints that it's going to be schematically, it's going to be coaching is the reason why they fail. That there's a better way of doing it out there that would make those dudes play better. And I don't think it's been a long, long time. At least 18 years, 17 years, that you've questioned whether or not schematically, defensively, you were in the right way of doing it to have, if you've got the dudes, you knew you were going to play the right X's and O's that were going to win you football games. And I think that's what the Bryans of the world and me, after I hear Roman talk every time, that's where my concern. I don't like 50-50 propositions.
But I will tell you, it will get forgotten because of how great Nick Saban and specifically Nick Saban and Kirby Smart were together. There were games every year where Alabama's defense got lit up.
Once a year.
Once a year. Like Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss did it a couple times.
Yep.
One in Tuscaloosa. It happened again over in Oxford in some wild game that ended up 45-43 or something like that with Chad Kelly. Texas A&M and Johnny Manziel lit them up a couple times. Once in College Station, once in Tuscaloosa. So that would happen every year. We'll do revisionist history with Nick Saban, and we'll be like, boy, this never happened to him. But there were times, Lance, where that defense was lost out there under him too. And to Dunaway's point, you couldn't find better dudes and you couldn't find better scheme than what Nick Saban brought, and still there were offenses they couldn't stop at times.
Yeah, it just feels like this defense is going to be better in year two. Again, schematically, it seemed like it took a lot of these guys almost 2 months to adjust to this defense. So I think the familiarity in year two is going to benefit them that much more. But if I told you guys the defense points per game is exactly what they did last year, do you think Alabama fans would take that?
Which is what, 18, I think, Lance?
I think that's right. And the offense has got to be better.
Alabama, I'm sorry, Jim. Alabama was 17.4 scoring defense. You would take that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. If you tell me every week, all I need to do is score 21 points and I win the football game, you would be an idiot not to take that every week.
Yeah.
You'd be an idiot.
Well, they gave up 34 to Georgia and almost lost that game. Yeah. But that was not entirely on the defense. That offense got in a funk at times in the second half.
Yeah.
They gave up 40 against Vanderbilt. That was a lot on the defense. Now, there was also a pick six that goes against scoring defense. It really shouldn't, but it does. They gave up 25 to South Carolina, and that almost got them beat. They let South Carolina back in that game at the end. But the turning point was Tennessee. Now, they gave up 24 to Tennessee. Both y'all were at that game.
Yep. It didn't feel like it.
It didn't feel like it. It felt like Alabama's defense played well enough to win that game.
Well, it was
Alabama's offense.
Tale of two halves.
It was.
I mean, the first half, the defense was completely dominant.
Yeah, and you were only up 7-0.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the defense did play good enough to win that game.
I think they did.
Even at 24.
Yeah, when it's 7-0 at halftime in a college game, your defense has put you in every position you need to be to win.
Yeah. I expect more out of Jalen Milroe in that offense than 24 points. I agree. I'm going to expect more out of Ty Simpson or whomever else out of that offense than 24. You give me 20.5 points a game for the opponent every week, I'll take my chances every time.
Yeah.
If I can,
No, they're 11-1 if they give up less than 20 a game.
Okay, we'll get back to the overachievers and what LT and all of us were talking about. We did the underachievers after we hear from a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That is Greg from Pell City. It's a new week. It's almost football season. It's time to think about things you needed and wanted to get done this summer that you maybe haven't gotten to yet. Our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing can help you out. That's what Greg from Pell City has done for a long, long time. In fact, locally owned for over 20 years there, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and just absolutely, I don't think you can find a better person than Greg out there that you'd want to do business with. And he and his wife, Andrea, run the company. You see the number on the screen there. You can jump off and get a free no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free, no-cost roof inspection. And also, he does full roof replacements, storm damage repairs, and all of that. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. That's our friend Greg from Pell City. Go and check him out right there. And also our friends at Odie's. LT, tell us about Odie's again.
Odie's Tavern, great place for lunch or dinner. 2 locations, the original and Crestline, which every single Wednesday night, me and Brown are out there for Odie's Team Trivia. Newest location in Edgewood. Stop in, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis. Been doing that for more than 3 decades. The ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, the Odie's famous styrofoam cocktails. Get in. Odie's Fest coming up. Yacht Rock Review for more information. Odie'sFest.com.
Oh, that's a wonderful show, by the way, the Yacht Rock Review there. Looking forward to Odie's Fest. To recap what we've done on the show so far, SEC Media Days, the opening statements from Greg Sankey, we've broken that down. You've just heard from Roman Harper. Lance has paid off his stake bet here. He's in a spray tan that is all over his sheets, and he is walking around here.
Do I look dark?
You do.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell people the camera is not picking up your darkness. People wanted you orange, and EG will have to explain this, but EG told us up front, she's
There's
like,
no more orange.
They don't do orange
Yeah.
anymore. You cannot do orange. Like, you can't go to any spray tan place and get orange. Because that's kind of what we wanted. And EG's like, I can't do that for you.
Yeah, I got the Oompa Loompa meme from Willy Wonka, and I think people were expecting that.
Right. But EG was like, you cannot get that anymore. There's no reputable place that does orange, and we couldn't find an irreputable place, Jim.
Did anybody ever ask for orange, though?
I think that's what people had in mind looking at the chat room. They thought orange. Oh, do you mean like at a...
Yeah, we don't do orange anymore. Okay, good. That's a good thing.
I know.
Right?
Nobody really wants the orange, which is why they don't do it anymore. But I mean, we got it. We got Lance as dark as we could get him. They went as dark as possible, and this is what we get. Again, I'm telling people the camera is not really showing how dark he is. You've gotten some weird looks because you're pretty dark.
Yeah,
you're pretty dark.
But truthfully, I think you look pretty good. To be honest with you, I think it's a good. I think it's.
Well, I appreciate that, Dunaway.
I've seen you that tan before. I think.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I do think that there are people that are like this guy, because you can tell.
Yeah,
like there's probably people here that are like, and this was the punishment. Like, this guy has put on a spray tan to look good for the camera.
Because when you start inspecting and you see how his palms are white and you can see where the spray tan ends.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got the sure signs of the spray tan.
Well, maybe he does another coat tonight and it gets even darker for tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. All right, Baptist Health bringing you our coverage. Let's talk about overachievers. Let's see if I got the underachievers right. We said Brian Kelly so far.
Yep.
We said Hugh Freeze so far.
Yep.
We said Billy Napier so far, and we disagreed. I put Mark Stoops in the underachiever. You did not. And that was it, right? Those were the underachievers. Now the overachievers. Brent Venables has underachieved. I didn't get to him in the last time. He's underachieved. He's the head coach at Oklahoma.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah. I mean, there's more expectation there should be. I do think this pivotal year.
I mean, he won 10, but then last year.
Yeah, he won 10 of the Big 12.
Yeah.
Last year he won 6 games, and that's not going to be good enough. I mean, Oklahoma looks everything Texas does, Oklahoma's going to be judged on.
Yep.
And in year one, Texas had every opportunity to win an SEC championship. They had every opportunity, once they got into the college football playoff, pushing Ohio State to the brink. They could have won a national championship in year one. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're like, damn, we just got bowl eligible. I mean, our highlight was beating Alabama 28-3. So I think the expectation for Oklahoma this year, when you go out and you get a John Mateer and you get a Ben Arbuckle, is to make a big splash and make a run at a college football playoff.
Overachievers. I hope you'll agree with me when I say one of the guys who's here today, Lane Kiffin, is an overachiever so far.
It's a complicated relationship in Facebook terms.
So here's the thing. Ole Miss has won double-digit games 3 of the last 4 years.
That's right.
In the entire history of the program, they've only won double-digit games 10 times. So 30% of that goes to Lane Kiffin, 3 of the last 4 years. But the problem is, based on what he built, and this is why I go back to Mark Stoops, victim of his own success. Lane Kiffin going into last year was college football playoff or bust with that schedule. And when you look at a couple of the losses to Kentucky and Florida, those are games, you win one of those games, you're in a college football playoff. It was one of the easier schedules you'll ever have in today's new built SEC.
Yeah, I just – it's complicated with Lane Kiffin. You'd give me that, right? Like, I look at the overall at Ole Miss, and I'm like, he's got Ole Miss in a better spot than they've been in my lifetime, probably. I mean, can you think of a time where they've been consistently this good in your lifetime?
When I think of Ole Miss right now, I put them in with the best of the best teams in the SEC. They're not in the middle. They're not at the bottom. I put them in the discussion at the top.
But then I say, all right, give me your Lane Kiffin's big wins. Go.
No, I mean,
that's the tough part with him, right?
And he hasn't won anything.
Yeah, and then I also look at Lane Kiffin and I'm like, and then he had them in the college football playoff, and his team laid a complete egg in Gainesville, Florida. So I mean, it's complicated with him. Like, I think the overall picture lands overachiever, but if I start to break it down granular, boy, I should never have gone there. Grain by grain, I don't know. It's tougher.
He's done a tremendous job at Ole Miss. I do think this is the year. Look, he's the 13th highest paid coach. He's making over $9 million. I think this is the year we find out if he is a borderline elite coach, based on the fact you got to replace 14 starters. 3-year starting quarterback in Jackson Dart onto the New York Giants. So, he is going to have to really put a spin on all these transfers he's brought in. He seems like a more mature head coach. But I think this is the year we're going to know, if Lane Kiffin is an elite coach because of what they got to replace.
Wouldn't you say the same thing about Shane Beamer at South Carolina, who I know you're going to put in the overachiever category, but it's been a sort of a roller coaster. Good, really, for South Carolina standards, pretty good last year.
Yeah.
Is Shane Beamer an overachiever? And how important is this year for your thoughts on Shane Beamer?
I got to go Mark Stoops here and pull up the record, Lance. But I'm going to say overachiever.
Well, look, they won their final 6 games to end the regular season and lost their bowl game, but they were 9-4 last year. I mean, based on last year, I still don't have a feel. I was telling Chip Brown this, our buddy from Austin. I don't have a feel yet for Shane Beamer, and that's probably not fair. That's a difficult job.
29 and 22, 15 and 17. I mean, it's hard to say that's overachieving.
Last year, he overachieved.
Yeah, I think the overall picture is not overachieving. No, maybe meeting expectations. Maybe.
I mean, do you guys have a feel for him yet?
Not really.
No, it's been up and down, right?
But even at the end of the 5 and 7, they had that big upset win over Tennessee, right, and knocked Tennessee out of the contention for the college football playoffs. And then last year, he's got the 9 and 4, where man, they were painfully close against both LSU and Alabama. Could easily have been
a playoff team
with wins over LSU and Alabama. Which easily, if 2 plays go a different way,
would be absolutely incredible for South Carolina to get into a 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's one of those situations where I don't think South Carolina can do better at head coach, but I don't think Shane Beamer's elite.
Again, that one's a little complicated too.
Who do you have on your overachieving list? Who else?
Overachieving up until this point. I don't know how many we've actually got there. I mean,
do you have Kirby Smart? I mean,
well, yeah,
2-time national champion.
Yeah, he's overachieving.
Hard to say overachieving, but I think he is.
Yeah.
I mean, Heupel, I don't think you've overachieved because I don't think we give Tennessee the credit that they should be.
But where they were to where they are? Yeah.
Yeah, see, I would say up until the 4-8 last year that Stoops was an overachiever. But I think the most overachieving is the best brand right now in the SEC, and that's Georgia. I think it is Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to overachieve in the SEC with the money you're making.
It really is. Yeah.
Sark?
No.
But I think he's met expectations.
Oh, yeah.
Met expectations. But now, guess what expectations are this year? So now this year, he either overachieves or underachieves.
You got to say Drinks overachieved.
Oh, yeah.
Because none of us thought he should have got the job.
No, I know. I'm not crazy about the guy, but I got him credit.
Yeah. He's overachieved. Elko?
Underachieved.
No, not under. He's only been there 1 year. And
Maybe it was a very, very average year. Well, no.
Yeah, but if he actually Texas.
Well, he didn't. It was
bad ending.
It was standard Texas A&M. They're an 8-win program, and that's what he did. So he probably met expectations.
Yeah. Where are you on Kalen DeBoer as we go?
He underachieved year one.
I think he underachieved year one. But I think when you go back and you look, and Harp kind of glossed on this a little bit, where you've got such a just crazy change in cultures going from what Nick Saban had to what DeBoer is building. So in year one, it was going to be difficult with that transition. And, they were, again, a game away from a college football playoff, the last team out. So it wasn't like it was a disaster year, but based on Alabama standards, it was underachieving. And I'll tell you this, he goes 9-3 or 8-4 and misses it again this year.
Yeah, boy.
Boy, it's going to be an interesting conversation going into next year's SEC Media Days.
We appreciate Roman Harper joining us in this segment. If you missed that, and you can always get it at our podcast, both video and audio wise, on the audio platform at Apple and Spotify, we ask you to set the automatic downloads. That helps us tremendously. Thumbs up, like, subscribe on every platform you're watching us. A lot of content going out while we're live on the show, and then after the show live, Taylor Korn and Emily Grace McWhorter are working all over the College Football Hall of Fame to give you great content on all of our platforms throughout the day. The show being brought to you in part right now, not only by our friends at Baptist Health, our exclusive provider of the SEC Media Days, but also our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. LT's got the tan, now he needs the massage.
Yes, the gift of relaxation from our friends at the Woodhouse Day Spa. You can stop in, conveniently located at the Summit Shopping Center's beautiful location up there. Go see Stuart and the great staff. Tell them the next round sent you, or order those gift cards 24/7 online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Perfect gift, the gift of relaxation. Choose from a menu of over 70 options from Birmingham's best day spa. It's the Woodhouse Day Spa.
Our coverage from the College Football Hall of Fame continues, presented by Baptist Health. This is SEC Media Days 2025.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Baptist Health's coverage of SEC Media Days continue from the College Football Hall of Fame. LTD and B with you. Before we get back to our college football conversation, it's time for our Bo tender moment of the day.
I mean, that's dark last night.
Yeah.
I mean, you look all haggard.
Yeah, when you can see the rest of your body that is not tan. that does take
look haggard. You do look haggard.
Long day, man.
From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, then house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It is Bo time.
It's hard to ever feel sorry for an SEC head coach. The most pitiful moment I've seen in SEC Media Day history was Derek Mason walking around the River Chase Galleria and nobody wanted to talk to him.
He just kept walking back and forth and nobody would stop him and talk to him.
Did we not sit him down and talk with him?
I don't think we did.
So Derek Mason was a pretty bad interview.
Yeah. So I just saw Shane Beamer walk in, though, and he had his 2 handlers. And there was only like 4 or 5 people in the lobby, and he was taking selfies with those 4 or 5 people.
It's a slow crowd.
It really was. And I'm like, damn, man, South Carolina, coming off 9 wins, you would think there would be more South Carolina fans, especially in the Atlanta area.
Yeah. The lobby here doesn't reach the old Winfrey Hotel.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was only about Forrester and I were talking about it yesterday over a beer, but it was like it was only 20, 25, 30 people, but they were so pushed together. It was always a good TV shot.
It was. And Alabama Day, it was probably more than that, but it was so loud in that lobby. I was telling somebody this story the other day because they're like, I feel like the SEC's Media Days has lost a little bit of its charm. I said, it absolutely has. I said, now, the SEC did the right thing. They've turned it into a TV event for ESPN, moved it to All-Star Game Week so that there's nothing else going on. So I don't discredit the SEC for doing that. But
it's a better event on camera.
That's right. But it has lost a bit of its charm from the old school days in the Winfrey. But I told somebody, I said, you just can't appreciate that Winfrey Hotel. You were so grouped together, and you had all these radio stations, and radio people are really loud people. And then you had all the people yelling in the lobby, and they're doing the roll ties, and they're yelling when Nick Saban walks in, and it's just so chaotic. And I was like, when we were done with our show, I would go get in my car and drive home with nothing on.
Yeah.
No radio, no music, nothing. I just needed some silence for 30 minutes.
It was some of the most uncomfortable, the Alabama day early on in my career when, they bring Mike Shula by and early Nick Saban by. And what would happen is every camera in the place would be right there hovering over your interview.
Yeah.
And so to me, that was a little unsettling the first couple of times I did it.
It's quite chaotic. Yeah. We don't have the chaos here.
Yeah. Bigger venues, and we don't know where it's going to be next year. I would bet Nashville, but we'll see. We'll see where we are.
Could it be in Tampa? Will they ever take it to Florida?
I don't know.
Not.
I mentioned to Sankey about taking it to Disney. You remember that? And Sankey just kind of nodded, and we moved on. I'll bring it up again if you want me to. I don't know if y'all want to go to Disney World.
If it's not his idea, he's going to scoff at it, Brown.
Yeah. I would say this. I would say that there's only one team in the SEC in the state of Florida, and it's not centrally located. Not that Dallas was centrally located, but at least you have Texas A&M, and virtually Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas that could tell you that that's a shorter drive for them, LSU, and so to speak. So
would they take it to Oak City to throw Oklahoma a bone? I don't think so.
Hope not. Not.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about both Atlanta and now Nashville is the airport and the accessibility.
And they're centrally located in the conference.
I would go Nashville, Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, Dallas.
Atlanta, probably what they'll do.
Please don't do Dallas.
Yeah.
They will at some point.
I bet that's what's heading. Here's our Bo Tender moment of the day, brought to you by our friends at Bojangles, as Brown told you. It is Terry Francona, the former Birmingham Barron coach. The year that Michael Jordan played in the minors, Tito was the skipper here in Birmingham, and then he has gone on and made it to the show and won a world championship with the Boston Red Sox. He became only the 13th manager in Major League Baseball history yesterday to get his 2,000th win. And Tito's been battling health to not only stay in the game, but to stay alive in recent years. And he's back coaching this year, and he got to 2,000 wins, only the 13th skipper ever to do that. That's saying a lot.
Oh, man, look, he's had a hell of a career. He's worn more uniforms than Brooks from Shawshank. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe. I mean, what do you think Tito is, 65?
I put
67?
I'm going to go 68 is what I would guess. A little older.
But a beloved manager by his players, right? His players love that.
Because he was a great player, not a great player, but he was a very good player himself. Yeah. And he managed like he would want to be. He would want to be managed.
Yeah. So, I mean, congrats to him. That's a Hall of Fame career. So one day he'll be in Cooperstown.
Yep, he sure will.
Yeah. And from everything I've ever heard about him, just a fantastic guy. I've never heard anybody's like, God, you know who I hate is that Terry Francona, that SOB. I've never heard that about the guy.
Who is the NFL version or the football version of Tito?
Well, you got to have somebody that won a championship because he's done it. I tell you who it is without the championship is Wade Phillips, but I don't know that Wade's had the success Tito had. I'm just talking about. I think everybody kind of liked playing for Wade Phillips. He was just a folksy guy.
Yeah.
Andy Reid until he got Mahomes.
Yeah, Andy's next level now.
Yeah, but Andy, he wasn't really a player that is beloved. Dan Campbell.
Maybe he just hasn't had Francona's success yet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten close, but
yeah,
maybe I don't know if there is one in the NFL. I don't know if there's a good comparison.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, but good for Tito, and that's our Bo Tender moment of the day, brought to you by Bojangles. Back to SEC football conversation in our 4 downs today, which is brought to you in part by our friends at Hemphill, the heating and the cooling giant right there in Birmingham that we've trusted since 1954.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. That is the number you need to call. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. Trust the name Birmingham's trust since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
First down.
Mike Tomlin, a lot of people saying that was probably the one we were looking for right there. It was Mike Tomlin.
That's a great one.
Great.
Current job longer, Brian Kelly or Shane Beamer?
Brian Kelly, and I don't know why I say this about Shane Beamer. I mean, like, Beamer's making $8-something million. So you would normally say, well, if he has any level of success, he'll get out of Columbia. Well, where's he going to go for that kind of money?
$8.1 million.
Yeah, where's he going to go for that?
He's a top 15 salary right now.
Let's say he made the college football playoffs this year. They tear that contract up. They give him a new one. He's probably now to 10. Okay. Where are you going to go?
Nope, nowhere.
Where's open that's going to pay you $10 million? And if you make the playoffs at South Carolina, why would you leave South Carolina?
The only place you could leave out of the SEC would be Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, basically.
Yeah, and those jobs aren't open, and they're probably not hiring Shane Beamer.
Well, let me ask you this.
USC, if it ever popped open, they'd pay him enough.
Yeah.
If Florida State popped open.
I don't think they could pay that.
I don't think they would.
And I don't know. I mean, are you better off at Florida State? If you can make the
It's
playoffs.
amazing, though, that we're talking about South Carolina. It could be a better job than Florida State.
I know, but I mean, we're to the point now with this expanded playoff. Like, if I can make a playoff at a school, why do I leave that school? Now, is it easier in some places? Yeah, but those jobs generally do not come open. So, I mean, I'm inclined to say Brian Kelly in this one because I do think eventually he's going to have enough success to keep LSU fans happy. But I don't know where Beamer's going to go either.
Yeah, I would say Brian Kelly because I imagine he's got a pretty good buyout. So I'll go BK.
Yeah. Second down.
Same color scheme, more wins. Vanderbilt or the New Orleans Saints?
I mean, I feel like the Saints want Arch Manning or Garrett Nussmeier or whoever that is. So I'm not saying they're going to tank for Arch or Garrett, but I am going to say I don't know that winning is going to be the biggest.
Well, what do y'all think the
emphasis
number
this
is
year.
for Vanderbilt?
3 for Vandy, 4 for the Saints.
Oh, I was going to go opposite. I was going to go 3 for the Saints.
Wow.
4 or 5 for Vandy.
If Vandy falls back to 3 wins, and I know that's really the only ones that are guaranteed. I think they're almost guaranteed 4.
They've got 3 or 4 built in, don't they, Dunaway? If you look at there.
They play on the road at Virginia Tech. So that's one of their out of conference.
I think the Saints are going to be historically. Well, I don't want to say historically bad, not even for the Saints, but I think the Saints are 3-14.
If they can beat Virginia Tech, they got 4 wins because Charleston Southern, Georgia State, and Utah State are not beating them.
They got Missouri at home.
They got Missouri at home for whatever that matters.
No, I think they'll get 4. I think they'll get either the Missouri or the Virginia Tech game.
Yeah. I don't think so. None of them. I stick
Kentucky.
with 3. I'm
They can beat Kentucky.
Comfortable with 3.
I am going to lean more wins for Vanderbilt than the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I am too, but I do think Vandy could step back. I think if they're at 3, it is not going to blow me away either.
Third down.
More total touchdowns this year. Garrett Nussmeier or former LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels with the Commanders?
I think Garrett Nussmeier is just a wide open offense down there. Their defense has not lived up to what they thought it was going to be with Brian Baker. So I think they got to score points, and you score more in the college game than you do in the pro game. As good as Jaden Daniels is, I'm going to go with Garrett Nussmeier.
What's 3 times 17, LT?
3 times 17 is 54.
Yeah, I'll take Jaden Daniels.
If he has
51
total touchdowns, he's your MVP.
I'll take Jaden Daniels.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
I'm going to take Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels might end up being the best quarterback in the NFL. It could be this year. Nussmeier, you got Aaron Anderson coming back, but man, you got to replace a lot of skill. And I just don't. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be fine. But I think Jaden Daniels is next level right now. So I'd go Daniels.
Yeah, me too. Not that I think Nussmeier and LSU wins the national championship. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels because he's that good.
Fourth down.
Both here today. What happens first? Lane Kiffin actually wins a playoff game with Ole Miss, or Shane Beamer actually gets South Carolina to the playoffs?
You know, when you do these wins a playoff game, it benefits you to be in the bottom 8 there because a lot of, you're maybe going to get a home game, or not the bottom 8, but you know what I'm saying, 4 to 8, 5 to 8, you're going to get a home game. I think I would go Lane Kiffin winning a playoff game before Beamer makes a playoff.
I think South Carolina comes up short this year. So I'd probably do that too with Lane Kiffin, but I don't think Lane's going to get Ole Miss there this year either. So I don't think either one of them will have a shot at it this year, but I would take Lane eventually winning one before Shane winning one.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you tell me South Carolina never makes the playoffs, I'd believe it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but, Lane Kiffin getting there and then winning a game, I mean, that seems like a high bar, but I feel better about Ole Miss ever getting there than South Carolina, and once you're there.
But if they had gotten in last year, if Ole Miss had beaten Florida and they're the 13th or they're the 11th team, they're in that 6-11 game, who would that have been? Help me remember. Who was was that Penn State? I think they would have been at Penn State, right?
Is that Penn State SMU?
Yeah. So they would have been at Penn State. I mean, that's a winnable game for them if Ole Miss is at Penn State. So that wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the Four Downs today, and brought to you in part today by our friends right there at Breakline. Brownie, tell us about our friends at Breakline and the great optics that we wore in the sunshine on the drive over to Atlanta.
Absolutely. I finally got those on the golf course. We were out on the golf course Friday with our friends at Breakline Optics, and Cleve brought me the pair you wear. It's the frame that is specifically colored for golf. Okay.
Perfect.
And let me tell you, I was skeptical, right? Because they had said it helps you read the greens. You can see the contours better. One green, the very first green when I had them on, I'm like, oh, he's right about this. I can see the contours better.
We all had brake lines.
We all had brake lines on BrakeLineOptics.com. BrakeLineOptics.com. That's the website to go to. The cast molded polarized Trivex lenses. I talk about them all the time. I was even joking with him Friday. I was like, Dunaway keeps saying he's going to bring a hammer and I'm going to break him on set. I said, but our luck, we'd find the one lens you could break. And he goes, there isn't a lens you could break. You're not going to break these things. He's going to send videos so Tyler and Scott can show you that. You can see more. These things are built to last. They are built for the outdoors. So the salt water, the lake water, the pool water, it doesn't affect the lenses and the frames. And these things are so durable. When you drop them, they're not going to break. They're not going to scratch. They stand behind their product as well. BrakeLineOptics.com to see more. If you want to see them in person, you can go see them for yourself at Deep South Outfitters in Birmingham, or see more online, BrakeLineOptics.com.
Let me give my mom a smile here on camera.
Why?
She's watching, and she's saying I need to smile more, that I look like I'm sitting there mad. And I'm like, you should know me enough that when I'm thinking, I don't smile. There's a lot that goes on to me thinking, and I can't smile and think at the same time.
You do get that when you think, you get that RBF.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I rest with that all the time, Brownie. I never.
Isn't that an RDF?
Yeah.
It depends on which way you want to go.
Either way.
Male or female, right?
Either way. So I'm smiling on the inside
Smile,
where it counts, but your text made me smile there. Kalen DeBoer going into a second year, and everyone is just raving about this roster and everything. The Kalen DeBoer DNA, you heard Roman Harper say it earlier. He really likes what Kalen DeBoer is as a person and as a coach and what he's doing. Does Kalen DeBoer have some DNA qualities that you see in him that you saw with other Alabama coaches that had success, the Nick Sabans, the Bear Bryants, the Gene Stallings? Is there, I mean, to me, Kalen DeBoer, I think, falls closer to Gene Stallings than he does to, as far as his closer
to Stallings than Saban? Okay.
and Bryant. Just his demeanor, his kindness, but I'm asking,
but he's much better coach than Gene Stallings.
Yeah, but is there a DNA part, both in his coaching style and his personality, that sort of tells you that he's going to win at Alabama? Does his DNA makeup fit Alabama? Can he be successful at Alabama, or is he, quote, too nice?
It's an interesting question, especially coming off the Nick Saban regime. I don't know. I don't know what the qualities are that make Kalen DeBoer a good coach outside of the fact that he's a good coach, because it doesn't give you a lot when you sit down with him. Like, I mean, he's such a nice guy, but I know he's super organized, the detail, the guy knows offense, but I don't know what the intangible, I don't know what that DNA is that makes him such a good coach.
Dylan says DeBoer doesn't panic. I like that. I do like that about him, is that he is pretty even keel guy.
Dylan said that?
Dylan said that in the chat room.
Great point, Dylan. That's really good.
The Moon says no comparison to any previous coach. I would agree with the Moon. I think actually DeBoer is kind of cut from a different cloth of almost any football coach I've been around.
Well, how about this? If Mike Shula was a competent football coach?
I didn't want to say this, but I think
their demeanor is kind of the same.
You're talking about is most like Mike Shula. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Well, yeah, but I didn't want to go there.
Well, just demeanor. I mean, no, this flush coaching aside, the demeanor is Mike Shula.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the closest I can think of.
Yeah.
Mike Shula was never going to big time you, right? Yeah. But Kalen DeBoer would never big time anybody.
I was thinking more of like the guy Dylan who said the guy never panics.
He does not.
And he doesn't panic. And I don't know if Nick Saban never panicked either.
No.
But
I think he showed emotional.
He looked urgent.
Yeah.
He looked urgent a lot. Yeah.
Well, there is a difference in panic and urgency, right? I mean, we know that, but sometimes sometimes they look a lot alike, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but like if you're calm in a difficult situation, sometimes you get the deer in headlights label like Mike Shula did.
Okay, let's ask it like this. Of the 16 coaches right now, who would you want to be your pilot if things were going wrong?
Drinkwitz seems kind of smart, and like I might go with Drinkwitz there. I know what you're asking. DeBoer seems pretty calm and cool and collected. I would go to Brian Kelly. Seems like he'd be just unleashing holy hell on the flight control people on the ground. So I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, I think Kiffin's going straight into the mountain.
Yeah. I think Kiffin's like, let's go out in style, boys.
I think I would take Hugh Freeze.
Why Hugh Freeze?
Really?
Yeah. Why Hugh Freeze?
Because he probably has a tea time tomorrow he wants to make.
No, he's
I can't play Augusta in heaven.
He might jump with a parachute. It's just going down. He's going the other way.
You look out the window and Hugh goes.
Well, I know. Let's see. Try to do another joke. I know I don't want Lane Kiffin because he can't stick the landing.
There you go. There you go.
I think Billy Napier too emotional. Brian Kelly too emotional.
Well, Brian Kelly way too emotional. I know I don't want him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Brian Kelly would blame somebody else, right?
I think I Josh Heupel because he's used to the pilot walking out on him.
I don't know what is DNA of a championship coach. I mean, Ryan Day does not seem. Do you see Ryan Day as fiery on the sidelines? I've seen him be that way, but overall, I don't think he is. Like Ryan Day, his demeanor on the sidelines closer to Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban for you.
I mean, the thing with Ryan Day is outside of the Michigan game is games are never close.
That's
we
true.
Don't get to see a lot of it.
That's true. That's a good point. I don't know, man. I don't know what. I don't know exactly what DNA you want in a college, because the national championship coaches have all been so different.
Yeah, Dylan's the closest to what I was looking for there. What is it about Kalen DeBoer that you like? And he went. He went. The guy just doesn't panic, and he was in some panic-driven situations last year. And
well, his calm demeanor, like it looks bad when you have calm demeanor against Vanderbilt and you're losing like that. Like I think people want to see a little bit of fire, but it's not who he is. You saw a little bit of it with the official when he blew the call against Oklahoma on the Ryan Williams play. That's probably the most animated we've ever seen Kalen DeBoer. I mean, he came unglued on that official, rightfully so. It was a terrible call and cost Alabama, 7 points and any chance at coming back in that game. But that was the first time we had seen that kind of fire and passion from him. So it's in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Yep. All right, our coverage from SEC Media Days continues with our final hour coming up on the other side. The show being brought to you in part today by our friends at Twin Peaks. Tell us about Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, 29-degree cold beer. I don't know what it is back in our studios. I see an angle of our kegerator right there. Even with the 2015 vision, I can't see what the number is.
32 degrees.
34.
It is 29 at Twin Peaks, whether you're in Birmingham, the Patton Creek location, Atlanta, the Buckhead location. Stop in, get a great lunch or dinner. The Twin Peak girls running everywhere. They'll have the Home Run Derby on tonight, the All-Star game tomorrow night. But great happy hour and just a great place to get some incredible bar food. It is our friends at Twin Peaks.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, guys, helping you stay on top of your health. When you move from your 20s to your 30s, check in with UCA, and they'll stay with you the rest of your life. Early detection literally saves that life. 16 locations, one near you, 35 urologists from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. Go and check out the great folks at Urology Centers of Alabama. Again, 16 locations. You cannot beat that. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. We come back to the College Football Hall of Fame on the other side. This is the next round.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout Central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Do you need some more fresh college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, back for the final hour of the show, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Some great chicken places over here in Atlanta, but none as good, I promise you that, is the one Sterling serves up for you there, right there on 119. He's been in that same location for over 10 years. It starts with brining that chicken overnight in his special brine that makes it juicy down to the bone. Hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. It's our friends at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com. Almost tailgating season, and Champy's is the name to keep on mind there at Champy's Chicken.
Just real quick, and this is not the first person to say this. It's actually the second person I've seen say it. Apparently, this morning, just down the hallway here from us, Greg McElroy said on his on the morning show on Jocks there with Cole that someone that he believes is, I can't remember the way Greg worded it, but is a reliable source, tells him Nick Saban wants to get back into coaching.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, there is someone else that has said this nationally. This is the second time I have heard this. I don't know if I believe it. I'm not saying Greg is making this up. Greg was quoting someone he believes as a source. He's not saying Nick Saban necessarily told him this. There would be few jobs you would take if you were Nick Saban to get back into coaching. But I do think there are a lot of jobs that would take Nick Saban. They feel like they could get 4 or 5 good years out of him, and their program would be better off for it.
Well, I mean, you're approaching 80 if you're getting 4 or 5
That's right.
years.
That's what you got to remember. But that's a pretty young 80 for him.
Yeah, he does seem young still. I mean, look, I'd give it a go if I was, one of these programs that was championship starved. I mean, you guys, let's just throw a couple of out that could open up.
Well,
like
LSU, if Brian Kelly underwhelms at LSU, he would take that back in a heartbeat. Nick Saban's got very fond memories of LSU.
But doesn't that complicate the legacy a little bit?
I don't know. I think he thinks he could win another championship at LSU in 2 or 3 years.
But I mean, then does he become more LSU than Alabama? Like, I just consider.
I don't know.
I consider Nick Saban, like if you were doing the old bust, the Hall of Fame bust, he is an Alabama guy now. And if you go back to LSU.
But he's always had very fond feelings about that place.
Do you think he'd take the Florida job?
That was the other one I was going to bring up.
What about Oklahoma?
You're so contemplative on this.
Would he take the Oklahoma job?
I don't want to say, Greg's got a lot better sources and that kind of stuff than I do.
Seems far-fetched.
I would say the betting favorite is he never coaches again. This would be an upset if he does.
If he coached again, to me, why would it not be the NFL?
Because he's not going to get a ready-made winner in the NFL like you could in college. Like, I think he would look at LSU or Florida and say, that's a ready-made winner. I got to hit the portal and get 3 or 4 of these pieces, and I can win very quickly.
Well, and you can go out and, Roman Harper, who joined us earlier, was talking about the quarterback situation. Like, you can go out immediately and he can evaluate the talent of the position and spend $2 or $3 million and bring in a quarterback. You can't guarantee that in the NFL.
And on top of that, he was not happy coaching in the NFL. Why spend the final years of your career being unhappy?
But then why do you want to get back in it? Why did you leave?
Well, I think he still likes coaching. I just don't think he likes coaching in the NFL.
Okay, the two jobs.
But my point being, okay, I understand that. But now he's been out 1 year. This will be his second year out. Why do you want to get back in? Why did you leave if you thought you would ever want to get back in? Which is why I doubt he would get back in. I don't know why you would leave the situation you were in, because by his standards, Alabama was good enough to win a national championship with him as the coach last year.
Mm-hmm.
They would be again this year. So he walked away from 2 championship runs, whether they would have made it or not, 2 championship caliber teams that he would inherit at LSU or Florida if he took over from there. Maybe, Greg's got better sources than I do, and the national guy has better sources than I do. And do I think Nick Saban doing the game day thing was everything he thought it would be? No, I don't. I just don't think he would get back into coaching.
Let me ask you guys this real quick.
David said Greg asked Paul that question, and Paul says he thinks he's done. So Paul was on with them today.
Okay, so that's totally different.
Well, no. I'm saying Greg followed up his.
Greg heard the
I think Greg asked Paul, and Paul.
Yeah, Greg heard the national guy say it, so he just asked Paul a question.
No. Greg says he's got a source that he trusts telling him that.
Okay,
and then he asked Paul, in your opinion, do you think Saban will coach again? And Paul said no. No, I'm not saying that was where it came from. It was just a question. Greg has said, I've seen the quote from Greg.
So I asked you guys Oklahoma, but let me ask you this in the Oklahoma realm. If Saban
Terry's not living in Norman,
but if you would have said that about Tuscaloosa, if
knows in Norman,
yeah, but she had time to make Tuscaloosa a better place to live.
If Saban was the head coach for Oklahoma, this is first year with Arbuckle and Mateer coming in
playoff.
I mean, do you think people would have them in the top 10?
Mm-hmm.
Top 10?
Yep. They would be a very popular playoff
pick.
Yeah.
If you just dropped him in there today.
Brown did not mention Cole Kublik, who's also part of that morning show in WJWX.
He's never coaching again.
100%
never coaching again.
I said Greg and Cole Kublik.
I agree with Paul Feinbaum. You also can hear on Jocks over there. In the afternoons, I think I agree with Paul. I don't think he gets back in.
Of course, I would have said Pete Carroll was done too. Like really after Seattle and, takes a year off and goes back to Vegas. Some of these guys, they just don't know what to do. Now, Saban's got something to do.
I mean, again, there was an article not long ago, and the title of the article was "The Man That Is Going to Make Nick Saban a Billionaire." And it was based on the gentleman that Coach Saban is involved in the automotive industry. And there is belief and I've talked to people in the industry who are like, I don't know the exact numbers, but this is a very believable, very plausible scenario that when they sell that automotive conglomerate, that it will fetch Nick Saban. He will become a billionaire on that. Now, that's not what drives everybody, right? If I was going to be a billionaire, I love you boys. I'm happy to give you part of it, but I'm not working every day. If I'm a billionaire, I am not working every day. I can tell you that. I will play golf till my hands bleed, but I'm not working every day. But that's, football coaches are cut different than me. That's not, I mean, it's just not the way I'm, those guys, they're addicted to coaching.
Our Shunnarah Spotlight today brought to you by our friends Alexander Shunnarah. Don't worry about the open there, Milton. Shunnarah Spotlight, tell us about Alexander.
Yeah, so the Shunnarah Spotlight each day presented by Alexander Shunnarah. His mission was to create a firm that could handle any issue his community faced, his community being Birmingham. So that firm now not only handles any personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
All right, our Spotlight today, we're going to play start, bench, and cut.
Okay.
So I'll give you 3 quarterbacks from the SEC. You got to start one, you got to put one on the bench, and you got to cut the other. All right, send him packing. And I've got 5 different triplets of pairings here from the SEC. You ready? Let's go down at the bottom first. Let's go Pribula, Calzada, and Aguilera.
Oh, so Aguilar?
Aguilar. Excuse me.
Let's do that again.
Christina's got Xtina's got a brother.
Missouri.
I saw this guy, this comedian. He's like, why do we over pronunciate the Latino names? Like people have to say Xavier Hernandez, and he's like, I'm Irish. I don't say Cavallari. It's like, why don't we do that?
Maybe you should.
Okay.
I think
Pribula, Calzada, and Aguilar.
So start, bench, and cut.
Boy, this is garbage. But I'm going to start Pribula. I am going to bench Aguilar, and I am going to cut Calzada.
I would agree with Lance. I think he's got the right order there.
So Pribula, Missouri, huh?
Oh, did you hear those options?
Yeah.
Pribula is much more athletic than people know. They will realize this. He's got a ton of confidence. Will that equate to good decision-making and winning games under Eli Drinkwitz? I don't know.
Well, do you think Sam Horn is even battling him to be the starter at Missouri? You think Pribula is going to win that job?
I think Pribula is going to win the job.
Okay. Obviously, to do this, I had to have a like quarterback. I can't sit here
and
give you a good one, a middle one, and a bad one.
But you were just so surprised in her answer. Like, those are crappy options.
Yeah. I thought the Tennessee guy.
I mean, Aguilar he was really good at Appalachian State.
I read this morning Josh Hoover turned down Tennessee, quarterback at TCU.
The TCU quarterback, yeah.
That'd have been a good fit.
Oh, it would have been. We brought him up the other day. What a year he had. He's the leading returning passer in the Big 12, and that's an offensive conference.
I think, would you have stayed at TCU?
Over Tennessee?
Yeah.
I probably would have gone to Tennessee. But
yeah, just to play in the SEC, play in that stadium.
And play for, Sonny Dykes, good offensive coach, so is Heupel.
But, I mean,
and
do you think who's got a better chance of getting to a college football playoff this year?
Tennessee. Look, Big 12's a crapshoot, so I guess you always got to say the Big 12 team.
Start, bench, cut. Jackson Arnold, Green or Reed, Arkansas and A&M.
Taylon Green or Marcel Reed.
Okay, Marcel Reed is getting cut. I think Taylon, oh man.
See, you guys are higher on Jackson Arnold at Auburn than I am. I've come to find out I'm probably one of the bigger doubters out there that this is just going to be amazing. I'm not saying he's going to be awful, but I don't know that it's going to be you insert Jackson Arnold and all of a sudden the light comes on for him because they got good receivers.
So you agree with my pairing here?
Yeah, that's a good pairing.
What you're saying.
And I'm going to, for that reason, I'm going to go Taylon Green start, Jackson Arnold bench, and I would cut Marcel Reed.
Yeah. Again, not enough Marcel Reed, but I would cut Marcel Reed. I think I would start Jackson Arnold. I would bench Taylon Green, but it's really, really close.
Okay. Ty Simpson, Austin Simmons, Gunnar Stockton.
Think I am going to start Stockton. I am going to bench Simmons, and I'm going to cut Simpson.
Wow. You just cut the Alabama quarterback?
Yeah.
You picked Alabama to win the national championship last year.
Yeah, but I think they could win with all three of those guys.
Okay.
And again, Dunaway, great job on how close they are.
Yep. I am going to start Simmons. Hey, there's Roman Harper, everybody. Good to see you, buddy.
Just making those rounds, man.
Sit down and do 2 more segments?
Just do part 2. Nothing.
Dua Lipa. No, really, really, really close pairing there.
Yeah, I did not give mine. I would start Simmons, bench Simpson, and cut Stockton.
What about you, Dunaway?
I did this. This isn't fair. I mean, I probably start Simpson, bench Simmons, and cut Gunnar Stockton.
I think Stockton, just because
Q Gunnar Stockton winning the national.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't it seem like anybody that talks about Georgia doesn't specifically talk about Georgia? It's more about Texas or Georgia, or Texas, Georgia, Alabama, just because of the brand. There's nothing specific, and I think people are scared to death of Gunnar Stockton. But there is no way Kirby brings this kid back and doesn't go in the portal if he doesn't believe in him.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. 2 more of these. Lagway, Mateer, Sellers.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's a really good one.
I can't cut one of these guys.
I am going to, well, I've got it. I'm going to start, you're going to love this. I'm going to start Sellers. I'm going to bench Lagway, and I'm going to cut Mateer.
Oh, my gosh. Whoever gets cut here, it's going to come back, and then we're going to look like a complete idiot at the end of the year because I think all 3 of these guys are going to be really good. I think based on what I have seen, I would start Mateer, I would bench Sellers, and I would cut Lagway. Again, I think all of them are going to play in the NFL, and I think all of them are awesome.
That's the toughest one you did, by the way.
We are 3 totally different ways because I start Lagway, I bench Mateer, and I cut Sellers.
You cut Sellers?
I do.
Man, that's hard to do. I mean, that's the toughest one you've done right there because you got 3 really, I think you got 3 good quarterbacks. And I'm high on Florida, and I bench Lagway over Sellers.
And I know Alabama fans don't want to hear this. All 3 of those guys would start for Alabama.
And we get to the top here, the one I did first, and work to the others. Nussmeier, Manning, and I'll throw Sellers into this one.
Nussmeier, Manning, and Sellers.
Yeah. Start, bench, cut.
I am going to.
He's going to cut Arch Manning. Get ready for this.
Start Sellers.
He's going to cut Arch Manning.
What crap in the last one? You couldn't. He wasn't even good enough to start.
Didn't you?
No.
In the last one?
I cut.
Mateer.
You cut
Lagway.
Yeah.
I cut Lagway.
Okay.
I'm going to start Sellers. I probably would start Sellers in the last one too. There's something about Mateer right now, but I think I'm going to start Sellers. I am going to.
You love you some Mateer like you love a good spray tan.
Yeah. I'll never get one of these again. Okay, wait. Sellers, Nussmeier, and what was my third?
Manning.
I'm going to cut Manning. I'm going to cut Manning. I'm going to bench Nussmeier, and I'm going to start Sellers.
I think I'm the same way.
And you're worried about the last one haunting you?
You cut Arch Manning?
Give you a clean.
I'm not even worried about this. I am going to cut Arch Manning.
Okay.
Only in a start, bench, cut fashion.
Yeah.
He's not cutting him just because.
Oh, now give me yours.
I think he's got it. I think I would start Sellers. Did you start Sellers?
Yeah, I did.
I think I would start Sellers, bench Nussmeier, cut Manning.
Yeah.
What would you do there, Dunaway?
Nussmeier, Manning, Sellers.
You're not a Sellers believer. You've cut him twice in a row now.
Yeah, he hasn't made either one of my teams.
Yeah, I'll tell you, without Rocket Sanders this year, and again, Sellers here today, I think just pure talent. I think he's great. But I think it could be a rocky year based on schedule and no Rocket Sanders.
Okay. Tim, we're going to read a couple of sponsors here, but I want you to get Shane Beamer up and ready for me and a soundbite here, and I'll give you an obvious toss to let you know when to play it. But the show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, LT. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100. That is the number I called back in 2003. Had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Diego Pavia's got a look.
He does. Him in a bow tie?
Looks like he's got a tux on. He's going to a black tie event, and he's got a chain under the bow tie.
The tux with sneakers.
It's prom night.
205-969-8100 or Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, watch social media later. I think EG is doing what they wore, or however the kids call it.
Yep.
So she'll have Diego Pavia explaining that look.
You think if he walked through Phipps Plaza today or Lenox Square, you think anybody would know who he is?
Nope. Dude's smaller than I thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys agree with that?
He is.
I thought Diego Pavia was I knew he was undersized, but I thought he was bigger than that.
He's the Mexican Manziel.
I mean, didn't you think he was bigger than that, though?
But wouldn't you say that? That's the Mexican
I
Manziel?
guess so. I don't know.
Yeah. I've done a lot of people watching in the 12 hours I've been here with all the Beyonce. Yeah. And
that beehive, something else, y'all.
Manziel makes the day continuing. There's also a reporter at one of the stations to our right that looks like a young Molly McGrath as well.
Okay.
That's a win for her.
Yeah.
But
do you think anybody would go up to the Mexican Manziel and be like, "Hey, I need what is on the lunch menu today?"
Yeah, I mean,
he looks like a surfer.
He does. He does not look like an SEC quarterback. That's for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, we had a reservation for 4.
My whole party's here, sir.
Hey, if you took 2 feet off of him, it'd be the plane.
Wait, did we do a sponsorship?
He did one. There was one after Michelson. I don't know. It was after Michelson.
Yeah, it's gonna be our friends at Champy's, world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. They bring you the final hour of our show. You can get the unbelievable fried chicken there. Don't forget all the sides that go with that. It makes the meal that much better. The desserts are made on property there, and of course the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. I don't have to take a plane to get there. Highway 119 in Alabaster is Champy's Chicken, perfect for tailgating.
Hey, boss.
Coming up. Okay, Shane Beamer walking around downstairs.
Hooker's golf.
Here's Shane Beamer on how the expectations have changed for the Gamecocks since he became the coach.
You know, I think about this every year, coming to this event in 2021 over in Hoover, and there weren't very many expectations for that team. There was a national reporter that week that said the ceiling for our program in 2021 was 2 wins was the ceiling, and now here we are 5 years later, and y'all are having conversations about Lenora Sellers being a Heisman Trophy candidate, and people are talking about this team being a playoff team, and we embrace that, Rick. We embrace the expectations, but it's certainly changed in regards to how we're seen. There's more attention on us and more people that want to talk about South Carolina football than what there was in 2021, but we're also very respectful and very cognizant of the fact that it's truly year to year. Every season's a new season. We've come a long way since 2021, but we're not slowing down by any stretch of the imagination, and understanding that we did a lot in 24, but 25 is a new year, and regardless of what people are saying about us or how we're perceived, we ultimately have to go play and coach good football, and that's what we're trying to do.
I would ask you this about Shane Beamer. Why does it seem like his program is better, sort of the reputation Auburn used to get? If you expected something from Auburn, they never delivered. When you didn't expect anything from Auburn is when they had the best season. That used to be the Auburn reputation. Yeah. That is sort of the way I feel about South Carolina.
I can see that. We had no expectation last year at all. You know, the talk was, you know, is there a chance Shane Beamer doesn't survive the year? And the way they turned it, and you got to give him a lot of credit, the way they turned it around middle of the season, won their final 6 regular season games, there was no expectation. Now there is expectation. They've got a difficult schedule, really difficult schedule. Do. And, you know, much like Vanderbilt, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. So I think the difficult schedule is going to hand them more losses than South Carolina fans believe.
So what's considered a successful season for this program?
Well, let me go to the schedule here. Let's dive in the schedule, and I'll give you.
Now, here's what's jacked up, Brown. As you pull this schedule, 8-4 is going to be disappointing for South Carolina fans. I don't think you can do better than 8-4 with the schedule.
I think that's a successful season.
Oh yeah,
but that's not their expectation.
If they're not 3-0, it's going horribly wrong. They open a neutral site right next door to us in Mercedes-Benz Stadium against Virginia Tech. They got to win that game.
No, they have to go 5-0 really to open.
South Carolina State, Vandy at home, at Missouri, and Kentucky at home. I agree with you. If you're not 5-0 there, there's no hope of the playoffs, because after a bye, you've got one of the most difficult 4-game stretches of anybody in the country. They're at LSU. They host Oklahoma. They host Alabama. They're at Ole Miss. You can go 0-4 in that in the drop of a hat. You're probably fortunate to go 2-2. You feel like you've won the national championship if you go 3-1 in that stretch. If you're South Carolina.
If
they do go 3-1 in that stretch, they got a real shot at the playoffs.
Oh yeah, because then you put on the 5 in front, they might be 8-1 at that point. But still, the second half of this season, because you talk about coming off the game in Oxford, you get the bye, then you got to go to College Station. Then you get somewhat of a break with Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, that's not a you don't just chalk that up in the win column.
And that's you talk about trap games.
Then right before Clemson.
Yeah. At the end, Clemson.
Yeah. Clemson, boy, if that Clemson game is for a trip to the playoffs for South Carolina.
But there's no way.
I don't see it either.
I do think they can open 5-0 though. So with that said, I think they're 7-5. I think they find a win. Whether it's, Oklahoma or A&M and then Coastal Carolina, I think they're 7-5, but that's going to be a disappointing season based on what happened last year.
Here's the smartest thing I'll say on the show today. If it's 8-3 South Carolina playing Clemson at the end, that's the kind of game with the year we're expecting from Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
That if South Carolina was to win that one, that could be the way you get a 9-3 SEC team into the playoffs is, okay, they're 9-3 with that schedule, and they just beat Clemson, who we expect to be highly.
Brilliant take. Brilliant
Thank
take.
You.
Yeah.
Smartest thing I've said on the show all day.
Indeed.
I could see, legitimately at 8-3, they're probably, 17-20 nationally, but you win that game, it probably props you up into the top 12. I think they would be in at that point, more than likely.
What is a successful season for LSU this year?
It's got college football playoff, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. Now, college football playoff is a range from 12-0 to 10-2 probably, so there's a 2-game buffer in there. But that is the minimum. Like, if they don't make the college football playoff, and look, there's always extenuating circumstances, like if Nussmeier got hurt, unfortunately, or something like that. Those are extenuating circumstances. But if they don't make the college football playoff, that is a disappointment, period, and a sentence.
Yeah.
There's no other way about it.
4 full years and no college football playoff appearances for LSU.
Yep, that would be a very disappointing season for them.
Do the same thing with Ole Miss now. What's a successful season for them?
Lance, I want to say the same thing. Like, do you think an Ole Miss fan considers it successful if they go 9-3 and miss the playoffs again?
I think you've got to be realistic. So when you're replacing 14 starters, a 3-year starting quarterback in Jackson Dart, maybe the best quarterback Lane Kiffin's ever had. I think 9-3 would be a really good season.
Yeah. Even if you miss the playoff again, 9-3 is still good.
I think you start taking on that fourth loss, 8-4, 7-5, then Ole Miss fans are like, with the schedule we had last year, and we didn't get to a college football playoff, and now we're 8-4, 7-5. I think that would be very disappointing. But I think 9-3 is a pretty solid year.
I did this last year with a game that didn't pan out the way I thought it was going to. I said when Oklahoma is in Oxford playing Ole Miss, there are going to be sneaky college football playoff implications in that game. Right? Didn't work out that way. But Ole Miss, South Carolina, Saturday, November 1. Sneaky college football playoff implications that game. Ole Miss, South Carolina. Vaught Hemingway Stadium, home game. It's either going to be a 2:30 or a primetime kick. Saturday, November 1. Circle that one. That will be a more important game than you think it will be, right?
Yeah, if that game was to kick off the season instead of Kansas State and Iowa State, how excited would you be?
Oh, I'd be very excited. Yeah, but once it rolls around, there'll be some sneaky playoff implications on that.
And then the guy we see standing over there, Clark Lee in Vanderbilt. What's successful for them this year? Has it got to be a bowl game again?
God, I don't know Vandy fans. Like, I don't know one single Vandy fan, so I don't even know how to gauge this. If they don't make a bowl game and they're 5-6, all right, let me pull the schedule. Let me paint you a 5-6 picture, not in a bowl game. There's no way they're beating Alabama back-to-back years.
You mean 6-6?
Yeah, I guess 6. Yeah. Well, I guess 5-7. All right, so they beat Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech, Georgia State, and Utah State. So there's 4 wins. I can only give them one more win.
You can't find 6. Kentucky's that.
Well, no, I was just going to say, so if they lost all the rest of them but pulled an upset like LSU or at Texas or at Tennessee, or they beat Alabama again.
Or how bad of a loss would that be for Auburn? Can you imagine Alabama and Auburn in back-to-back years in Nashville losing games?
That would be terrible.
That would be a terrible loss for Hugh Freeze. But, I mean, it's on the table. I mean, if those two played right now, do you feel good about Auburn winning by a touchdown or more?
But I haven't seen Auburn yet. But 5-7, all I'm saying, Jim, is like 5-7, if one of the 5 is, one of those upset wins, that goes a long way to a place like Vanderbilt.
We will hear from Brian Kelly coming up in our next segment. From what he's saying here at SEC Media Days, we've given you Shane Beamer, we've given you Roman Harper, and some Greg Sankey over on our platform. You can go watch that at Next Round Live, whether it's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get at Next Round, also on YouTube as well. It's all brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. Brown, tell us about Baptist Health.
Yeah, that's our exclusive sponsor for our coverage of SEC Media Days here at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Baptist Health's system of care includes 5 acute care hospitals and more than 1,700 licensed beds and a freestanding emergency room. As it has been for more than a century, Baptist Health is an integral part of the healthcare landscape in Alabama. And in a new partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health is celebrating a new day in healthcare. And through this partnership, they will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of the individuals and communities here. Baptist Health, it's a new day in healthcare, and they are the exclusive sponsor of our coverage here in Atlanta of SEC Media Days.
Which continues on the other side. Brian Kelly talks about that opener with Clemson. You'll hear what he says next on SEC Media Days from the College Football Hall of Fame.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
We know emergencies can happen anytime, anywhere. With 6 ER locations throughout central Alabama, Baptist Health is ready to provide expert care if you're facing one. When you choose Baptist Health, you'll find a place where chaos meets calm and uncertainty finds answers, giving you more reasons to choose well. To learn more about our high-quality emergency services, visit baptisthealthal.com/ER. baptisthealthal.com/ER. That's baptisthealthal.com/ER.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you, brought to you by our friends at Baptist Health. This is our coverage of SEC Media Days 2025. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Forrester manning all the setup here behind the cameras, and also sending out a lot of video with Emily Grace McWhorter and Taylor Korn, our crew in Atlanta. Thanks to the fine folks at Baptist Health, their new era there in healthcare, and we appreciate those folks so much and what they've done for us and the relationship we have with them as we work to their next chapter. That's going to be really exciting for all of you there in Central Alabama, back home with us. Show also being brought to you in part today by our friends at Company Distilling. They're now part of the Alabama landscape, LT.
Hey, this is a bourbon worth sharing with friends. Fantastic bourbon, now available ABC stores throughout the state of Alabama. Not only Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, other states. For more information, CompanyDistilling.com. And if you're looking for a great summer road trip, 3 incredible distilling destinations for you. Enjoy that flight of whiskey, great scenery, and just a great bourbon. Pick up some today. Your local ABC store. It's Company Distilling.
All right, Tim, let's get that Brian Kelly cut. Brian Kelly down in the main arena here at the College Football Hall of Fame addressing the media earlier today. And he got asked about the opener with Clemson and the history of dating back to Ed Orgeron of LSU going 0-4 in these openers, not winning games. Here's Brian Kelly moments ago.
I know everybody's excited about the season. Everybody here is excited about it. And we're certainly looking forward to the opportunity because we open up with a great program in Clemson. I know Dabo very well. I respect him and his program and the accomplishments they've had. We've played against each other several times when I was at Notre Dame, and just have a ton of respect. But we've also been 0-3 in openers at LSU under my watch, and we needed to do some things differently this year, and that is embrace this opener and embracing it in a manner that this is a big game, and it's a tangible goal for our football team to want to be 1-0. It's not let's warm it up into the season. We want to be ready for this football game. And so we're doing everything in our power to give our players the opportunity for that success.
Boy, I tell you what, that record in those opening games is top of mind down in the Bayou. You hear a lot of talk about that, and there is the head coach of the team basically saying, we've done it poorly in the past. We've got to do it differently now.
2 Florida State and 1 USC, right?
Yep, under him.
Yeah.
But it goes obviously before him, back to Orgeron.
Is by far the most difficult.
It's the most in those 5. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row. UCLA was in there, and there was one more, I forget.
Here's what scares me about
this is easily the most difficult of those 5.
Did he sound a little different though? The bee's knees.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna get it. We're gonna win one for the Gippo.
I told him we gotta go in there and sock them, boys. We gotta sock them early. We gotta sock them hard.
Well, what scares me about what he's saying is that you're building a lot into one game, and it's a tough one. And if you lose it, what comes after that?
That's right.
If you hype up one game so much, what comes after that? Nick Saban was so good about each game is its own game, but each game is as important as any other.
And never lost one of those games, by the way.
He is building it up that this game is more important than game 2 because of who it is, and they haven't won the opener in so long. is there carnage if you don't win this game, which is a realistic possibility. Why? There's no difference in this opener than a layoff for building up for a big bowl game or the playoffs back in the day. You have a period of time that you have to prepare your team for one specific game. Why do you think LSU has struggled in this game?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Like they made
quarterback play at times.
I don't know. I thought they were pretty good against USC.
No, they were. I mean, look, the defense failed them against USC, but I mean, you go back. I mean, look, and Miller Moss made some incredible throws down the stretch in that game. But if you go back to the LSU Florida State games, I mean,
special teams.
Yeah, just complete flukes.
Yeah, they missed the extra point, right?
Yep.
They scored extra point to win the game. They miss it and lose it overtime, right?
You had a muff punt inside the 10-yard line that led to their final score. So there were, some unusual things that actually happened to those games. But if you're to lose this Clemson game, your problem is before you get out of September, you could be 2-3 and the season's over.
Yeah, we talked about that on LSU Day. Is 2-3 is a not realistic.
It is realistic.
It's a real possibility. I guess realistic is what I'm saying. I mean, it's realistic. You're at Clemson, you host Florida, and you're at Ole Miss.
You're going to be underdogs, obviously, against Clemson and Ole Miss. Yeah. You'll be a slight favorite against Florida.
If you told me they lost all three of those, I'd be like, I can see it. But also, if you tell me LSU's 5-0 there, I'm like, I can see it. Yeah. I mean, their month of September is probably the most interesting in all of America.
What is it that's keeping people from believing in LSU is the 5-0 and has them worried about 2-3? Is it the defense still?
Well, I think the defense still, it's an unknown on how good, Blake Baker, I think they're going in the right direction, or they can't go in any worse of a direction they were in 22 and 23. But I think when you look at top 5 receivers outside of Aaron Anderson are gone. They haven't been able to consistently run the football outside of the quarterback position with Jaden Daniels in Brian Kelly's time there. You lose 2 bookend tackles to the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of loss there.
The thing that worries me most, and we talk about this, Lance, especially in terms of playing at Clemson. Hester was on the show. You were out, I believe, on LSU Day. Jacob Hester was on the show. We brought it up to Hester. They are replacing that entire offensive line, tackle to tackle, right? I think it's a 5-man replacement, if I'm not mistaken. It may be 4 or 5, but I think it's 5 of 5, including Will Campbell, who is in the NFL now, or is about to be, just got drafted. And your first game is, and you were the first to bring this up that I heard, your first game is against what a lot of people think is the best defensive front in America, and you're having to do it on the road in a loud environment where communication is critical. And to me, it's not the skill of the guys you got in there. It's the communication. They've never, in a game, that set of offensive linemen has never had to communicate on coverages and the blitzes and where the unblocked man is going to be and all that. Now I'm asking you to do it in Clemson, South Carolina, in a night game against the best defensive line in football, maybe.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And then pull up LSU from last year.
What do you want, their stats, you mean?
No, their schedule last year.
Okay.
Because we know Nussmeier failed at Florida Field, right?
Their losses last year, you're asking home and away losses?
Yeah, I know they lost to Alabama at home.
They lost at A&M. They lost at Florida. Those are their 2 road losses. Yeah. They won at Arkansas pretty handily, and they won at South Carolina in an absolute crazy game, 36-33.
They beat Alabama at home, right? Yeah.
No, they lost Alabama.
I mean, lost to Alabama.
Yeah, got run off
that was a run off the field in that one.
So they got run off the field against A&M too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, 38-23, but it wasn't that close. I mean, it's a 15-point game, but
I mean, your defense can't give up 38 and 42 in back-to-back games.
Yeah, that is pretty well. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I would agree 100% with you.
Yeah. All right. That's LSU today. A lot of expectations for them, and they're my national championship picks.
You're sticking with it.
I'm sticking with it. I think they put it all together and they have a special year, and led by the quarterback. But there's a lot of good quarterbacks that could lead their teams to a championship, and we'll talk to and about a lot of them all week long. Garrett Nussmeier here with Brian Kelly and the crew. Dr. B bringing to the show before we get to trash today. Tell us about Dr. B.
T3hair.net for more information. For more than 20 years, Dr. B has been helping men and women throughout Birmingham and the central Alabama area. Again, when I started to thin out, noticed it 4 years ago when we were doing SEC Media Days, made the call. Dr. B and that great staff. My hair has more than doubled in thickness just doing that, the 3 non-invasive treatments, 30 minutes each time on the couch. Stop in, go see Dr. B and the great staff, T3hair.net for more information. Best in the business. Doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. When you start to lose that hair, make sure you're preemptive. Make sure you not only maintain, grow some of it back. For more information, T3hair.net.
Now, the women love you when you get out there. Why do you think that is?
What'd you say?
The women love you when you get out there.
Why is that, ladies?
Well, I'm asking you.
Huh? Because I
Why
look
do you think
good.
that is? You
I
look
smell good. I
Yes.
feel good.
And you sing good.
And make love good.
Oh, well, there we are. We don't have to ask anybody else. We got that from the source. There you are.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The delicious taste of Bud Light. Hopefully we'll be on one of those in the next couple of hours. We start first. The mystery of a toe found in a box at Dash Point State Park is no longer afoot. Reading.
The mystery's not afoot anymore. So we found a toe.
Yep. According to the Public Health, Seattle and King County, the toe was found to have been medically amputated and not related to a death, an investigation found.
Well, that's good.
So this just came out of medical waste.
Yeah, if you guys were walking back to the hotel today and you saw a toe on the ground, would you assume something foul play had happened?
I mean, a lot going on down here in this part of Atlanta the last couple of days with WWE and all the Beehive, Beyonce's people. So I would assume WWE of those two with a missing toe.
I would.
The Beehive seemed like peaceable people. They were just dressed wildly.
I would tell you what I would do. I would say, there's a toe. I wouldn't stop. I'd keep
I would keep going through. Yeah.
Tell me what you would do here.
Hey, dude, by the way, I don't know if you saw this when we were walking in. We walked past a park bench, and unfortunately, a homeless gentleman was asleep on the bench, literally did you notice this? Holding a joint.
I didn't look at him.
The sound asleep, holding a joint, like he fell asleep smoking his joint. It had gone out, but he's just holding it right in the corner of his mouth, and that's how he was asleep.
So we skipped the hotel to meet you guys for dinner last night before going back. But when I was getting off 85 North, where you're heading towards Midtown in Buckhead, it was kind of backed up on that little intersection where you can still see the old Turner Field. Dude in front of me, he's in a Dodge Charger, rolls down his window and dumps out an ashtray, and it's nothing but joints. That's all it was.
I love dumping out an ashtray, right? Yeah, this stuff's biodegradable. Just go ahead and dump that right out.
Oh, it's so what we'd call roaches back in the day.
Yeah, this old boy, he's laying on that park bench, and he was still holding it in his mouth and was out like a light.
So if I'm homeless, would I run up and pick up a bunch of those little roaches? And
you could probably
got to hit off each one of them.
So I've got a friend that went through some really, really tough times, and here's how he lived for a while. He was living out of his car, and he would go get cigarette butts. That was what he smoked in ashtrays. And he got coins out of fountains to buy beer.
Boy, that's tough.
Wow.
Yeah.
True story.
Is he okay now?
Yeah, he's fine now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Well, what made the turn? Where did he turn?
Prison.
Well, that'll get your attention.
A really good woman in his life, his wife now.
That also helps.
Small groups.
Okay.
God.
A lot of things. Yeah. All right. Good for him.
Not necessarily in all that order, but
but all of it played. Yeah.
Okay, so here's scenario. So Kevin Ewing, you're walking down a beach, Dash Point Beach on Father's Day. You stumble upon a gift wrap box. It's a Christmas package, little square box wrapped in green cloth and yellow string. Do you open it?
No. I assume I'm on a beach.
Yeah.
I assume it's cartel drugs.
You always do.
I do. Yeah. I mean, something's washed up on the beach. I'm assuming it's cartel drugs, Jim. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that go.
Well, it could be just a package that fell overboard on somebody's yacht.
Could be, but here's the thing. If you open it and you open it and it's cash, you don't take that cash under any circumstances.
Yeah, I feel like you're opening something that's going to be a worse situation than
correct.
So he thought it was a prayer box or message in a bottle type thing at first. Opens it up, Quote, sat there in shock for a few seconds when I realized it was a severed human toe. He said the toe was wrapped in white cloth next to a feather, grass, sage, and tobacco. He said there were a lot of things going through my head, like, where's the rest of the body?
Where's the foot?
But they actually found out that it had been medically amputated.
It was gift wrapped why?
It doesn't say.
Second part of the mystery here, I would say.
It was probably being sent to someone. They found it and they're going to send it to him to scare him.
So an unusual confrontation between a county deputy and a man walking in the street resulted in aggression and jail time. Now, the deputy say he responded to a man walking down a highway shortly after 4 a.m. on Tuesday. That's when he said Jacob Caldwell, 44, fired a flare gun directly at the patrol car.
That'll get your attention.
Deputy said,
emergency over here.
said Caldwell then removed his pants, threw money at him. The body camera video shows deputy using a stun gun on Caldwell twice, but he kept pulling out the gun's probes. Caldwell was eventually subdued and arrested. Deputies say he later admitted to firing the flare gun. Deputy was not hurt.
This guy, I mean, if you told me in a lineup, find the guy that fired off a flare gun, I'm picking that guy right there. That looks like a guy that fires off a flare gun.
Does it look like a young Chris Elliott?
A little bit. Yep. Before Chris Elliott got kind of unhealthy looking.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy looks like a healthier, younger Chris Elliott.
An escape of an inmate from a remand center was observed this Saturday morning, July 12th. The prison administration learned from BFM-TV. Inmate took advantage of the release and at the end of his sentence from his cellmate to hide in a laundry bag, to escape.
Okay. So he gets in the laundry bag. Now, when I pick that up, I'm going to realize that ain't laundry.
Invited to BFM TV on Sunday, July 13th to discuss the incident, the director of the prison, Sebastian Caldwell, acknowledged a, quote, accumulation of errors. Faced with these flaws, Caldwell announced that he was taking action. Quote, I immediately requested internal investigation. Took 24 hours for the suspect's escape to be noticed by prison staff. Seems like a long time.
Yeah, I would agree.
Waiting period that some attribute to the overcrowding affecting the facility. They said the facility has an occupancy rate of 170%. They said, quote, this clearly makes working conditions more difficult for our staff. With what this incident reveals is rather an accumulation of material efforts, possibly faults, which the investigation will bring to light. So, this is one of those situations where overpopulation, you start letting hardened criminals on the streets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the hardened criminals. I do think we have prison overpopulation because we overprosecute some relatively smaller crimes.
Yeah, marijuana specific.
Yeah, I think we've probably overprosecuted the marijuana crimes, and it's starting to be legal in enough states that, maybe that'll ease that up in some places. Hardened criminals, though, let's keep an eye on those.
Okay, not legal in Georgia yet.
Marijuana?
But boy, you would have thought so last night.
I smell a lot for it not to be legal.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that.
Yeah. Just kind of in this general area, there's a overall smell of a dead skunk.
I would say Beyonce Major League Baseball All-Star Game in WWE.
Right.
There were some left-hand cigarettes.
There were a lot of Colorado cocktail.
Yeah.
Okay, if I told you the name of the event is Balls Out Bowling, what do you think it is?
I'm going to say they're playing off what you would think it is, but this is actually going to be bowling without a bowling ball.
I'm going to say it's a nudist bowling colony.
That's what they want you to think.
So if you haven't lived, or it says you haven't lived until you've bowled naked.
Yeah,
you got Dunaway is dead on. For those unaware who missed out on the evening of no clothes, no shame, just strike, spears, and smiles, according to this release, this is an annual event put on by a nudist group in Pittsburgh. And when they say balls out,
they mean it.
They mean balls out.
They mean it, yeah.
They said they're talking of a night of carefree fun, full frontal freedom. The Pittsburgh Area Naturalist annual event took place at the Kraft and Ingram Lanes, and the only clothing allowed but required bowling shoes.
Yeah, you don't want to scuff up the floor.
Look at their model.
Yeah,
he is quite happy to be bowling.
Yeah,
I think I could get a strike here.
The females do it the next week.
All right,
it's slots and gutters. Yeah.
Boy, I could lay a great joke down.
You could, right.
Okay, so if women choose, they can wear bottoms. Admission reasonable $30.
Reasonable.
In addition to bonding with others naked, the price of admission covers 4 hours of unlimited bowling and the shoe rental.
That's a lot of blisters.
That is. Wow, this is now there's the old Seinfeld. I didn't watch a lot of Seinfeld. Good naked and bad naked. Like Jerry had this girlfriend that just wanted to be naked all the time, so she was naked in his apartment, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a dream come true." He goes, "You know, it turns out there's good naked and bad naked." And they're like, "Give me an idea of bad naked," and they show her like she's trying to open a pickle jar.
Yeah,
naked. He's like, "That's bad naked." Yeah,
reaching up to get serious.
Yeah. So there's good naked and bad naked. I think naked bowling's probably going to be bad naked.
And when you get a lot of displays going on of different grips on the bowling ball, with a bunch of naked people around, it gets a little uncomfortable. Because are you no finger in a hole?
Oh no, I'm fingering all three holes.
Yeah,
you got three. Well, I got three. Yeah, but one's for the thumb.
Right, then into the two. I got the two in the top holes.
But I think I like to go with the middle finger out. I think I like to do that.
So you do ring finger and index finger, and third finger is out.
Yeah, I think so.
You know the difference between.
Why do you do that? Is that just a comfort thing, or does that help?
Or maybe it's the ring finger, middle finger.
Oh, so you do the two middle fingers.
I do the two and the thumb.
Yeah,
I do a backward spin like this. It's very.
So I just throw it like a straight knuckleball as hard as I can. Like my theory in bowling is throw it hard in case you hit something. I've never been able to do the spin, Lance, like you're supposed to do.
Do you know the difference between Britney Spears and a bowling ball? Well, I won't give you the punchline.
Okay.
Okay, so attendees were asked at this event, please bring a towel and bag for your belongings. There are no photos or videos allowed during the event. This sounds like an invitation to a swingers bowling event. You're way off base according to this release. These are just people who like to hang out at the bowling alley naked. There's no sex allowed according to this.
I mean,
the event page made it clear. It stated sexual activity is not permitted. Nudism does not equal consent. Harassment will not be taken lightly. Violators will be asked to leave. If you can't separate taking your clothes off for the wholesome evening of bowling from the type of event designed to have sex, that's a you problem, not the problem of the nudist group.
That is a you problem.
Yeah. Yeah, being nude is not consent, but it's pretty close. I mean,
it's a step towards consent, I would say.
I feel like I got a better chance of getting a yes.
Yeah.
It's like batting practice.
Yeah.
Now that you got those pesky clothes out of the way.
It's not a fastball.
Yeah.
I would agree. It really is. Yeah.
It's not like
the target-rich environment, right?
Not at the bowling alley, no. Yeah. But normally, yes.
You don't have a lot of high ground to stand on at that point. I don't think.
I've been to bowling leagues. Again, there's good naked and bad naked.
And that's trash today?
Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. The show also being brought to you today by our friends at Hemphill. Tell us again about Hemphill. Great folks there that we've trusted since 1954.
Yeah, 205-229-2090. Trusted name Birmingham is trusted, as Dunaway said, since 1954 for all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating. Any of these issues arise in your home or business. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Is that young Lenore Sellers right there about to sit down with our friends at CBS?
That is.
That is. Well, he's a big, look how much bigger he is than
Diego Pavia.
Isn't that crazy?
He's got that NFL size.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers there. I may be underappreciating the great Lenore Sellers.
Can I put a bow on the Greg McElroy story I started the hour with?
Does it involve
Nick Saban?
Yes. Does it involve you getting something wrong?
Nope. I know you thought that the entire time we were talking about it. I could read it in your face. You thought Brown has screwed this up.
Yeah,
Brown has not screwed this up.
Probably still going to think that when the show's over with.
Okay.
Go.
From On 3 via Mac and Cube, as Jim wanted to point out, Cole Kubelik also part of that show.
Yes.
Greg McElroy said a person, quote, in the know believes Nick Saban will return to coaching. Quoting Greg here, Jim, if it wasn't someone notable, I would never say a word. So Brett McMurphy, also with On 3, tracks Greg down here. Here's his quote to Brett. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's completely fulfilled with what he's doing, but some think he misses the competition and would consider coming back, but I don't buy that. So Greg playing both sides on this a little bit. He brings up a source on his show saying, hey, look, I wouldn't bring this up if it weren't a good source, but somebody tells me Nick Saban wants to get back into coaching, and then once it starts making the rounds up here, Greg's like, oh, I don't think he's getting back in coaching. So
I'd like to.
Greg's got both bases covered.
I'd like to be 28 again.
Right. Do you think you're going to be that?
I will never be 28 again.
Do you think there's any way the acronym
I miss being 28.
STFU was sent from Saban to McElroy?
It does sound like between Mac and Cole and Brett McMurphy tracking Greg down, Greg might have gotten a phone call.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Saban's going to be here this week?
He should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably already is.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. But
If he's going to be here, he's here already.
I would think the last thing he wants to do is make it about him and his newfound career.
Yeah, he'll get the hands back out. Look, guys, I'm not here to talk about. I'm a retired coach. He'll do the old hand wave.
Yeah,
and then the
reason I acted the way I did is it doesn't. There's a reason why he left when he left.
I agree. Now there have been some changes since then.
Have there been enough changes?
I don't think
to fix
so.
that headache.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I don't think he liked, on the heels of a devastating college football playoff loss, players coming in his office shaking him down for more money right on the heels of that. Some of that has changed.
Yeah.
There's less players coming in your office shaking you down for money. They're generally shaking you down on the front end now.
Yeah.
But I don't know that enough of it has changed permanently. And the one thing I've learned about all of this is just when we think something has changed, it changes again. So you don't know what the future is going to be in anything, but especially in college football right now. Again, I said it when we were talking about it. I don't think the guy will ever coach again.
Yeah. I don't either, and did not have bringing it up on the show on my bingo card today.
Well, you cannot undersell something I've brought to the show more than you've undersold this.
No, I'm just saying that you didn't. Greg McElroy did.
I know.
You just brought up Greg saying it on his show. I did not say we'd be talking about Nick Saban coaching.
No, I don't think so either.
On the show.
I was surprised Greg said it today. But I'd heard it before too.
But there was one national.
I can't remember who it was. I wish I could credit him, because when I read it, I was like,
no credit because of who it was.
Yeah. Well, Greg apparently had a better source.
Do you guys think Shane Beamer's a smoker?
No, I don't think Beamer smokes.
He's got that Jay Wright, that skin look that he looks like a smoker.
Do you think Jay Wright smokes?
Yeah, he looks like it.
I don't think Shane smokes. Is there a chance he just got a bad, drugstore tan last night?
Possibly.
I know a guy.
Because he's darker than you.
I do think.
Does he put his golf scores in again? I mean, Jesus. That guy's been on vacation. Does beach time count? To defend Hugh one more time here before the show's over with.
He'll be on tomorrow.
Is it any different than him playing 11 rounds of golf in June as opposed to a coach spending 3 weeks at his beach house?
Which one's recruiting well?
Well, you're not blocking that. Like
3 weeks,
people don't know what you're doing. I mean, the problem is Hugh has gone public.
I don't have to log my beach days in a public app. Like day one, beach.
Yeah.
Our buddy Matt Mosley, he said he's listening to us from Seaside, by the way. Shout out, Mose.
I love Mose.
What did he say about Hugh today?
There you go.
Why the hell is Freeze reporting so many rounds? Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, just get to this story.
I guess.
Wish he was here. But I mean, Shane Beamer, unless he's recruiting outside, that guy has spent a lot in some office lighting. He's been out in the sun some this summer.
Well, again, it's less about where you are and what you're doing, and more about what you're not doing. And the vision is Hugh Freeze not winning enough games, and is not recruiting well. That guy over there won enough games last year, and I guess he's recruiting well.
Yep. So Hugh sits down with us tomorrow. If I hand him a dozen golf balls, Pro V1s.
Oh, I'm sure I've got plenty in my locker. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I lost all these on the course yesterday.
Well, let's just ask him. Do you want to play around after media day today?
I got a tea time cross town.
Can you get him on at what is it? East
Sugarloaf?
East Lake.
East Lake.
Yes, I could. In fact,
could you get him at Sugarloaf?
He could get on East Lake easier than I could get him on Sugarloaf. Yes.
Is there a place called Sugarloaf?
Yeah, there is TPC Sugarloaf just north of town. Now stop right there. I can't get him on Augusta. If that's your next question. He's got a far better shot at that.
Yeah, he does. Tell us one more time about our friends at Baptist Health. We're so thankful of them for sponsoring our coverage of SEC Media Days all week long.
Yeah, our exclusive sponsor, Baptist Health System. And in partnership with Orlando Health, Baptist Health is celebrating a new day in healthcare. Through this partnership, they will advance in providing innovative and compassionate patient care, strengthening the organization's mission to improve the health and quality of life of individuals and communities that we live with and that they serve. Baptist Health, Central Alabama's only private, not-for-profit, faith-based healthcare system dedicated to providing high-end accessible care for the communities of Central Alabama. And Baptist Health, our exclusive sponsor this year of SEC Media Days here in Atlanta.
Live show is over with, but continuous coverage of SEC Media Day, thanks to Baptist Health, continues throughout the evening. These guys are about to go do some man-on-the-street stuff, talk a little life and football with them. Emily Grace and Scott and Taylor continue to pump things out on our social media platforms, all at Next Round Live, all over wherever you get the content. And remember to set your automatic downloads in places like Apple and Spotify so you don't miss a thing all football season long. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.